You are now entering Maximum Driftcast, the only drifting podcast hosted by a Spanish soccer mom, a 30-year-old silver-haired fox going on 60, and finally, a 200-pound bowl of spaghetti with chimichanga arms.
The champions, we are the champions.
Welcome back to Maximum NASCast, the only NASCAR podcast hosted by Jimmy John
Freckelstein.
Yes, that's me, Jimmy John Freckelstein, the only one Maximum NASCast host, and I have my guest right here.
The Corey Sausage Whistle Finger Puppet.
Hey, and we have also our third member of the NASCast.
Yeah, hey, it's me, Sam.
It's Sleepy Pee-Pee. Hi, Sleepy Pee-Pee. Welcome to the show.
Joke explainer, the official joke explainer, and what the joke is that Paco's wearing a NASCAR outfit. So it looks like the joke is that we're saying we're doing a NASCAR podcast because Paco's got a very festive shirt on.
It's not a shirt. It's
an official team jacket, Sam. Come on, dude. This is something that you have to be an official NASCAR athlete like Paco. We've took this month off, Paco decided to fly to North Carolina and be the best NASCAR spotter, crew chief,
and driver.
Oh, you're driving.
I was trained personally by my boy JP Montoya. I mean, he lent me his jacket.
Nice,
it's a little too tight. He's kind of a petite man.
Yeah, so we're actually, we really wanted to take Maximum Driftcast to the whole new level, so we figured out we couldn't do it in drifting, so now we're officially the official NASCAR podcast in the universe.
That's correct.
So I don't really know a lot about NASCAR. This is going to be a problem for me.
That's all right. So, Sam, NASCAR, going back to Talladega last year.
Snap-on
was there. How was that for you, Sam?
I don't know. I wasn't out there. I don't know.
Brian, do you have anything you'd like to add? Because I don't think...
I'm sorry, guys. I'm in the wrong show. I went to the wrong studio door. I'm actually supposed to be in the other one. My bad.
So,
I'll help you guys out.
All right, so I know the show's not going to be very good with just me and Paco. But Paco, what was it like there?
I mean, I got to meet the what's his the crew chief?
I met him once. He's good. Yeah. What else have you met?
Billy Bob, Tire Smoke.
So you had a blast, basically.
Dude, it was the best.
Well, thanks, guys. That was it. This is our opener for 2018 NASCast.
Really looking forward to all the great content.
We're looking for all the breaking news.
I want to thank all my sponsors, by the way.
You can drop your whole jacket.
Oh, boy. That's going to take a while.
That's going to take 12 years.
I have to take it off to see everybody.
Yeah, I think we should just go back to what we originally started a year ago. 2 years ago.
We can totally talk some drifting.
Paco, rip that jacket off and burn it, Paco. Get out of that wardrobe. Paco, this is not you. Let's get back to what we kind of know. Remember, 2 years ago.
Do it for die.
2 years ago, January 26th.
That's right.
A new drifter was born.
Oh, yeah.
3 brains turned into one decent drifter.
Together.
And this is what we have now. We have the power of Maximum Driftcast. We are back.
This is the first show of 2018. We started the show at the end of January 2 years ago, or almost 3 years ago now, I should say. But we're gonna recap a bit of 2017's moments in drifting in our show, and then we'll talk a bit about what we're going to be doing for 2018 and what to look forward to all there, and then maybe even talk to a special guest if we're lucky.
Ooh, that would be kind of sweet if we get a special guest on the first episode of the year. As we were mentioning, we were talking about a few different things that we wanted to cover before we started the show because we just finished up 2017 and we really didn't have any type of recap because we took our traditional December break as we end up celebrating multiple...
I'm a Kwanzaa guy.
You're a Kwanzaa guy.
You do the Hanukkah?
Yep, I do that one. I actually do all three because it lasts the whole month of December. So
that's convenient. Sam, what do you celebrate?
I don't.
Sam's a devil worshiper. Sam's a full-blown devil worshiper.
But
Yeah.
Sam.
I mean,
Sam was
between
actually
hailing Satan
Oh.
and celebrating Saturnalia, as well as the Bacchian solstice orgy I usually have every
Every holiday.
December. You know,
Hail.
it's not a lot of room for any other things. So,
Well, since you moved away to Venice, I know a lot has changed in your life, which was obviously a big thing we changed in 2017. But now I'm not invited to any of your crazy holiday parties over December.
yeah, it's unfortunate, but we always put up a picture of you on the wall, like you're watching over all of the degrading, awful things that we do.
Do you cut out my eyes of the picture and so you can put fingers and dingers through them?
Yep, fingers and dingers.
That's our new podcast, fingersandingers.com.
Speaking of fingers and dingers, we got a lot of gifts been sent
What?
to us. Yeah, we
Oh
got.
my God.
Yeah, like we got a very special gift. It was sent to us by our friends from the Smoking Tire.
Okay.
I don't know exactly what it is, but I think it's some kind of musical instrument. I don't know if we can focus on it.
Oh, nice.
So thanks, Zach.
Oh, Jesus.
Zach Clapman. I think Corey. I think it's a musical instrument. You play
Yeah,
with
no,
the-
I think this doesn't look like. I don't know how you play an instrument. I think it's more of like a medallion.
It's
you wear
like
around
medallion?
Your neck. It's definitely a neck ornament.
What do you think? What do you think it is, Sam?
It definitely looks like a Christmas ornament for the Christmas tree.
Oh, that's
so
right.
Thank you guys.
Duh.
Thanks,
It-
Zach, for the Christmas ornament.
Thank you.
ornament for.
We appreciate it. We're gonna wear it with pride.
Yeah, well, we're.
I think it goes like here.
Oh, they're goggles.
Oh God. Oh,
Paco,
God, Paco.
get those.
Stop.
You're gonna get pink eye.
Why? I mean,
Yeah.
it wasn't a in a brand new sealed bag.
Oh, was it? Thank
Yeah.
goodness. Who knows? They may have packaged it out of the dirty
Yeah.
pile.
Oh, and the other thing is, Santa Claus stopped by the house, and unfortunately, Sam is not here.
Oh,
But-
what?
He left a package here for some dude named Corey.
Who's Corky?
Some Corky Hus dog. I think Corey, would you,
Is this for me?
it's for you.
Oh, wow. Thanks, Santa. Hold on. Let me see if I can open it.
Let's see if we can. In the meanwhile,
Is it fragile or is it not?
it's not fragile. Whoa! What is that? What is it,
you
Corey?
I just punched it out of the bag.
Wow, you literally punch it off its package. I know you love movies. You're a big Star Wars buff.
sweet.
Like you do it. Like you watch movies all the time.
Looks like it's a Chewbacca onesie.
I got a Jabba the Hutt beanie.
Yep, there you go. I have one for Samuel as well. But Sam, you're not here. Shall we?
If you
we'll
actually
just,
just have Corey punch that open as well.
you want Corey to punch it open for you?
If you would be
Here,
so
watch
kind.
let's
it.
do
Grab
that.
it from one side, Paco.
Huh?
Grab it from one side and we'll pull it apart.
Oh shit. Okay, let's see if we can.
Ready? 3, 2, 1, pull! Ah!
I'm surprised it actually worked.
Where'd it go?
It's behind you. It's in your face.
All right, let's see what it is, Sam.
Uh-oh.
Here we go. It's a Jar Jar Binks onesie.
Jar Jar Binks. That's my favorite.
No, wait.
That's my favorite Looney Tune.
Yeah, that's right. I think it's a Harry Potter onesie.
Congratulations, Sam. You're officially going to Hogwarts.
Oh
That's
man.
what it is.
But I thought that you already had those.
Oh,
I don't know. Well, one's for you, Sam.
Merry Christmas, Sam.
Merry
That's from
Christmas.
Santa
Merry
Claus.
Christmas, Santa.
I'll send you the musical instrument with it.
Yeah, we'll send you the
I think it's part of the.
the eyeball gift that Zach from Smoking Tire sent us.
I can't wait.
Well, thank you
let's
guys.
get into drift talk though. Before we lose every single person that's listening in live.
Oh my god.
Corey, what were your highlights of drifting in 2017?
Well, there was so many different things that happened this year, and even going back to let's go back to Long Beach real quick, where we did our first run at the live stream halftime show. I always remember this moment because not only did everybody on the live stream look at your penis for about 30 minutes.
Yeah, I would say the high point of that entire program. You know, there was ups and downs, but the best part is definitely that there was a full contact shot of my open legs and moose knuckle. So that was something that everyone got to see, which was enjoyable for me and for I imagine just about everyone.
I was
out
sitting
there.
right next to you, and the thing was I was watching the Jumbotron the whole time because it was the Gonzo Sam unit hanging out the whole time, so I was just hypnotized by it. And then my earbuds stopped working, so I couldn't hear anything. So I was looking
And then
at
your microphone stopped working too.
Yep. So it was
Just drop it.
awesome. But what I remember about that the most, other than all those little technical difficulties, as we said, we were picking our 2 drivers for the year, and I picked Matt Field and Odie. And I did say that James Dean wouldn't cut it that he's not up to par
He won, yeah.
with
dominated.
oh, he's not used to the speed. He's not, and I remember saying that because I only seen James Dean drive in IDC and he dominated well, but then I was like, oh, the tracks are not comparable. The tracks are faster. They're more technical. But did that dude freaking just? I don't know what he did to the sport of drifting. He did what we would consider the Daigo effect, where it's Daigo brought the power and this crazy maniac builds, but he brought this more of a robotic style of driving that, yes, Forsberg and Osbo has, but it was a different style of robotic driving where it was so much more aggression and angle and attitude that the sport hasn't seen in a very long time. So I shot myself in the foot at the very first episode, but one of my highlights is obviously James Dean coming in and surprising everybody with the performance that he did do.
Yeah. One of my drivers was actually Peter Vinchek.
Yep.
And he ended up not only winning Irwindale, but he was also Rookie of the Year, which I've seen him on his movies, and I like his acting, and I really knew he had it in him.
Yeah, he did. Sam, what was your pick? Do you remember?
I don't recall. I remember I discussed Forsberg and will he be successful in his new motor setup, and he was not, to say the least. But that was definitely one of the highlights of the year is seeing him join Turk's team, or not Turk's team, but having his car be built by Nameless there, and then suffering engine and other complications throughout the year. So we saw their 3-time champion have an off year for once, which was definitely interesting and I imagine incredibly frustrating for him. But as everyone is planning the 2018 year, we've seen some videos of him refreshing his car and hinting as to what motor setup he'll be running this year. But
has he been hinting that? I haven't seen it.
There was some Instagram stuff of just him cleaning up his car and I think Turk's car. But I don't know. I was also behind the scenes shooting some video stuff over there, so I don't want to reveal how much I've seen.
If you get any dirty on those guys, please let us know on the stream, and we will keep it quiet. I won't tell anybody, but just let us know.
There's always this like fine line of like things that like I hear and see behind the scenes in my work and life out here. It's like, oh man, I can't wait to not talk about this or remember what I'm actually allowed to say or do. So yeah, I just say nothing in that case. But yeah, it's going to be an exciting new year for those guys, I imagine. But yeah, like you said, James Dean was the talk and the highlight of the year. I remember being on the fence in the beginning, not really knowing much about him, but always thinking that whenever anyone's like, "Oh yeah, he's good, but he won't be able to handle the long sweeping corners," or "Yeah, he's good, but he won't be able to handle the tight streets of Long Beach." Like everyone just said, "Yeah, but," and apparently he showed everyone there.
Yeah, he kicked everybody in the dinger. The other thing,
and then one of the other. Oh,
go ahead. No, you're up, Sam. You're up.
Oh, I was going to move on to Osbo.
Yeah, I was right there with you, Sam. See, look at that. We're already linking right now because that's exactly
we're classically docked.
We're docking right now, mentally and virtually. But that was another highlight as Osbo brought out this brand new car that wasn't a TC. And once again, everybody was kind of like, "Oh, Osbo's driving this grocery getter," and he kind of kicked everybody in the balls.
It definitely seemed like it was going to be a more experimental season for Osbo, and it looks like he doesn't need that much seat time.
Dropping the hammer on pretty much everyone but James Dean.
Yeah.
Well, that kind of gives a lot of credit to Papadakis and Osbo as a team. And the thing is, I think the chemistry between the team is what made them so successful this year, is that they have so much experience together. And I think having that long-term relationship between driver and crew chief or driver and engineer, that you can give feedback to the crew chief or the engineer and they can make a change to help the driver drive. So I think by having that relationship, it definitely sped up the process on how well or how fast they can develop that car, because they released the teaser video, I'd say, a month before Long Beach. So you can't imagine that they had too much more seat time other than a month before Long Beach. But I think that chemistry between driver and crew chief definitely shined this year. And as you guys kind of saw, that drivers and teams are kind of separating or going different ways. And those were some of the original guys that have been together since day 1 or 2 in Formula Drift. And it's definitely shown driving that IM.
And is there any hints as to what he's doing for 2018? I forget how much has been said or seen about his...
Oh, man, there's rumor mills already around that. I heard he might not be driving it.
Ooh. Yeah.
Yep. I heard there's rumor mills.
Which is a damn shame to have a car that was new and developed from scratch and then maybe maybe getting a completely new chassis again the next year. But I guess we will talk to those guys and see what happens closer to game day.
So that's part of the rumor, boys and girls. Starting off 2018, Osbo may not be in the IM again. So we saw the flagship year and the year of the IM being packed up and back on the streets as a front-wheel drive car.
I think it's my fault because he told me he loved the Buick Riata and he was going to push for another one of those rear-wheel drive conversions. Yep. So Osbo 2018 Buick is going for it.
Nice, Paco. You're going to be the crew chief. Papadakis is out.
Oh, yeah, of course. They know nothing about Buicks.
One thing that is definitely was shocking to the entire drift community and kind of you could say is it was the drum beat hit around the drifting world and everyone felt it and we're all seeing the effects today and Jun Mang still isn't back.
Yeah, Jun Mang did not show up this season.
It's called the Jun Mang effect.
Yeah,
it's like a it's like a domino pretty much.
It did. So there was originally. Actually, Formula Drift had 48 cars coming into this season, Sam. I don't know if you knew that or not.
Yeah,
but then
Jun
once
Mang
they
was
heard
46 of them.
Yeah, so once they heard Jun Mang belled, the other drivers, about 20-something drivers, bailed out with him.
They stepped up.
Yeah, so they said, you know what, our main man's out, so we're out with our boy. But yeah, Jun Mang. Actually, you know what's fun fact? Funny. I want to show this. Actually, I don't know if I can show this. I got a text message from Jun Mang on Christmas.
So lucky,
dude. I don't know how. But
so either he's never listened to the show or he always listens to the show and he
might be the ultimate troll.
I tried calling it. I tried calling the number tonight, but I did get a text message saying, "Corey, I wish you and your family the best holidays. God bless." In 2018, Jun Mang. Official text message in your face.
Suck on that.
Suck on that, internet. All right, I'm done. I'm quitting the show. I'm gonna
boom. Cell phone drop.
We've also, thanks to the sleuth skills of our fans and some of our hosts here, we've kind of broken some exciting news, or not broken, but at least helped transmit some exciting drift news via our page recently. A couple of things are, as everyone / no one predicted, Irwindale is confirmed coming back.
My God.
Which is unfortunate that it's been confirmed after Formula Drift has already planned their 2018 season. So at least by all appearances right now, there will not be Formula Drift Irwindale in 2018. But I guess we'll see what happens going forward beyond that.
Yeah, so we were actually, I would take pride in that we were the forefront in releasing the news with the help of McLeod. Those dudes kind of were at the event. We were talking back and forth as this was kind of going down. But it sounds like there's a 5-year contract signed, or a multi-year contract, which we know was 5 years, but they've announced multi, that Irwindale will be back open and operating normally. I did personally call Irwindale and talk to some of the staff there just to get confirmation. Then we made that post that Irwindale did make an official announcement, but they will be back. I do not believe that's affecting the Formula Drift schedule for this year. They will still be going to Vegas as that is locked down.
Yeah, that's one of the things that a lot of people were arguing back and forth, that this was going to affect Formula Drift. They were going to put a 9th round. And as far as we understand, we don't think so. Everything stays
drivers
the
don't
same.
have the budget to add another round again.
Yeah,
so.
it's just that Irwindale is not closing, and your AM commemorative coin, it's worth
a couple thousand.
A lot more. It's a lot more or a lot less.
You can actually exchange it for one full Bitcoin.
Yeah, it's driftocurrency now.
Yep. So Irwindale is back. Official announcement. Super exciting. Like I said, Formula Drift will probably not run a pro event there, but I'm sure they will start hosting their Thursday night drag and drift events through Irwindale. So I'm sure there's tons of fun and exciting things coming through Irwindale and Formula Drift, just in a different way.
Speaking of coming back, some other people are coming back.
It's coming back, and that also caused a lot of noise because it was there's a lot of argument happening on that post. Guess who's back?
Which is that?
Then the Forrest Wang's coming back to Formula Drift 2018.
Oh my goodness! And where was the source of that information? And what's the debate on the post? I haven't followed it.
So
yeah,
I'll give you the scoop. Let me fill you in, Samuel. Let me fill you guys in. So Nick Dizon from Vegas Drift is now going to be Forrest Wang's crew or team manager. So he's been helping Forrest facilitate his sponsors, his logistics, his travel. He's going to be the official PR guy through Forrest, which I personally believe that's the best thing that Forrest can do. Just because Forrest has so much on his plate that it's difficult to be a one-man show doing everything. And I think prior to this, Forrest didn't have the right guidance in Formula Drift to ease his mind just to be out there and a competitor. So Nick stepped up and said, hey, Forrest, the sport needs you back. We need you back. Let me be your guy to help facilitate everything.
I think this is the smartest move for Forrest because Nick has a lot of experience. Nick used to work for Formula Drift for many years. Yep. He's been running Vegas Drift for many years as well. So he knows both sides, from the organizers, from the inside,
the management, the media, the marketing. He understands a lot, and that's what Forrest needs. As you guys, some of you guys may or may not know, Forrest is not always the one posting on his Instagram. He needs help with that. He's just a quiet guy at sometimes, where he relies on help through the people that he's connected to help him with his media outlets. So I think this is the best thing that can happen for Forrest. And when I called Nick to talk about this, he's saying Forrest is going to go out there and try to win a championship.
Oh, yeah.
He said Forrest is going to make a return, and they literally said that we're going to go after James Dean. Like, it was funny to hear Nick say that, but Nick's like, no, James is why we're coming back. Like, once again, this is words from Nick.
It seems like he's the most similar driver to Forrest.
Exactly. And that he's like, he wants another S15 up there, competing against
JC powered, lots of style.
Yep. But there's a lot of reasons. Now, I asked them, I'm like, so is it going to be the traditional Force that we know? And they said, there's going to be changes to the car. It's going to be stylish, but we're going to make it competitive too. So if we have to raise the car up a little bit, we're going to do it. If we're going to have to change a few things on how the car operates, we're going to keep it a stock 3-liter. We're going to keep it 3 liter. We're not going to bore it like we were with the Crowder stuff. So there's a lot
never
of
been a debate on Forrest's lead run skills or his qualifying skills, but the big question I want to have answered is, can he follow like James Dean? Which I think that'll be what decides if he can be a true competitor in 2018. Is can he follow as well as Dean?
So this is what they told me. They said, like Nick told me this. Once again, this is kind of me just relaying this. He goes, we know Forrest was slow. But Forrest drove with the most style that he possibly could.
Yeah.
They realize that needs to change. So they're going to find a way to speed up the car,
dial
in the
down
grip
a little bit.
They said they found a balance, and that's what we're going to be showcasing, this new balance of style and performance.
And I think that's what James Dean had. A very good balance of nice, aggressive style with a very, consistent driving.
Yep, I would agree.
So yeah, I think this is the smartest move for Forrest, and I really think he's gonna be definitely a competitor this season. We're back supporting him. 2F is behind Forrest again.
Yeah, and his official sponsors, Vaptasia. You got 2F on board, so he's bringing a lot of cool people. I heard the car may not be green.
Oh yeah,
I heard the car may not be green.
I have some insights, but I can't say anything.
Yep, I have some. I probably heard the same source, but. That's another sneak peek. He may not be driving a green car next year. But anyways, moving on. I don't want to spend too much time on that. St. Louis. Let's talk about St. Louis.
Yeah, new
track coming in. Midwest is huge. You guys obviously went to Grid Life in Midwest. Huge attendance.
The fans demanded a Midwest round, and they got it. So we'll see. We'll see. It's a big track. It's what's it called? Gateway. No.
Yep. Gateway International.
Gateway International. It has big a lot of seating area. I think it's gonna be a very interesting round and definitely good shake up, to make things different.
I heard it's gonna be one of the fastest tracks of the year.
Nice.
I heard it's definitely gonna be one of the fastest tracks of the year. So that's another exciting thing. St. Louis is being added on. Let's see what else we got going on.
Can we think of something that was removed?
What was that?
A brand.
Canadian.
Well, I mean, yeah. Well, we talk. Didn't we talk about Canada leaving?
Yeah.
Well, so yeah, let's recap. Canada, obviously, it's out, but not only the round, the whole series Formula FD Canada is also out. Yeah. Which I was surprised by that because I thought, okay, so the Canada round is gone, but at least they still have Formula Drift Canada.
So here's I'll tell you this. Some of the organizers from FD Canada reached out to me on Facebook. A couple guys. But they were saying, and this kind of makes sense. This does make sense. The reasoning why FD Canada's not around. They were saying that there's too many events for the region for drivers to keep up with all the events. So drivers are starting to get selective on what events. So if there's 100 drivers out there and there's 20, 30 events a year, the amount of drivers that go to each event funnels out. So FD Canada definitely saw a lack of driver attendance in Canada because there was other events that they were driving at if it was going to a specific region, and they lost a little driver count. But they said, you know what, it's better for us to do only 1 or 2 events a year than the X amount of number they were doing. And they feel it's going to be a better way to grow their brand again and get it up and running. But yeah, we'd love to hear more from you guys. That was kind of just a little insight that I've heard. But yeah, pretty interesting facts coming from FD Canada. And we'll see what kind of sprouts out over the next couple months. Should be kind of cool.
Before we get too far ahead with 2018, I know, Corey, you wanted to mention just because we want to get it on the record, what were our favorite events of 2017? What was the best battle? What was the biggest upset? What are some of your best and biggest, Corey?
All right, let's see here. Let me see. Let's start off with the best battle of the years. All right. I already had mine picked, and I remember watching this battle, and I think some people would agree with me, but I don't know, there were so many good battles this year. And I think 2017 in Formula Drift Pro 1 was probably one of the most exciting years for Pro 1, even though the car count was low. I think the driving was definitely on another level that made the series exciting to watch. But one of the battles that stood out to me the most was the Jonathan Castro, James Dean from Orlando, Florida.
Yeah.
And that's where Castro did the most amazing chase run that I've ever seen Castro do. Yeah. Now, why that was my favorite is because we've known Castro for quite some time, and he's had his battles and his struggles driving the 350Z. That didn't work out. Got with Papadakis, got the development year in, and now he is constantly saying that he has found himself being one with the car, right?
Yep.
So he was qualifying better, he was driving better, and then Orlando, when he beat James Dean, running that bank,
the champion.
Yeah, it literally gave me chills. And even watching Jared announce that, Jared was like,
"Oh yeah,
I just can't believe I just saw this." He was on his feet, and you could hear it. He's like, "I got goosebumps on. I got the same thing because I didn't ever expect Castro to do that type of performance. I know Castro's an amazing driver. He's capable. It's just so on and off.
Yeah, excited.
But this year,
inconsistent.
From that run on, the dude's been on one.
Yeah.
And I would have to say my favorite battle of the year was Castro and Dean, Formula Drift, Orlando.
That was that's what I had wrote down as my biggest upset of the year because, of course, that was James Dean was coming in hot from Long Beach, having won that despite all odds and being completely not new to the series, but pretty much completely new to the series, minus his little stint a long time ago. But yeah, he was coming hot off that. Everyone thought he was unstoppable, and suddenly it showed that he could be stopped, but not by one of the past greats of the past decade that we've known, but from one of the newer guys that took him out with the best run of his life. And then I was going to say my favorite battles of the year would be Osbo versus Dean in Seattle. I think we went one more times there, and I had the pleasure of sitting in the stands to watch him with you guys, and also right next to Papadakis and right next to Dean's spotter. So we were just sitting there watching this battle from the top of the Seattle stands go back and forth, and it was just in that moment, as I mentioned on the show previously, that I realized that everyone else is kind of going to be playing catch up to these two for the rest of the season, and maybe for all of 2018 we'll see what people can do, but it seemed like Osbo's IM and Dean's S15, whether it's driver and car or the whole package, one or the other, they were kind of in a league of their own by all appearances. And we'll see what the old greats can do to update their chassis, update their driving. We'll see what unfolds in 2018 to stop the menace of these foreign invaders.
Jakob, what do you say?
I have a favorite battle as well. I was going to say Chris Stubbs versus Dean Kearney when the whole jack stand thing. It wasn't necessarily the best battle, but it was very interesting to watch. But then I thought best battle for me,
Atlanta, by the way.
Yeah,
right?
in Atlanta. Yep. But actually, I think the best battle for me was Chelsea versus Vaughn when Chelsea beat Vaughn
in Seattle.
Yeah. It was very, very badass.
Also Seattle. Yeah.
It was very exciting to watch. It was the anti-drift thing, if you want, because both American cars, both pulling 3 wheels, loud engines, totally not JDM, but it was very, very badass.
Well, do you know what's interesting? And this is something I was going to say right after listening to Sam pick his favorites is, when we were in Seattle, when both these battles went on with Chelsea and Vaughn and then Osbo and Dean,
Yep.
is that when you're sitting in the stands or when you're down in the hot pits or anything like that, and you watch the crew's reactions to what's happening, that's almost as exciting as watching what's actually happening on track, because you see the strategies in the team work out. You see them work on the car in the pits, and it's just like full throttle all the time until that battle is over. And that was kind of the exciting thing next to the battles, is watching the crew's reaction to what's actually happening on the track. And then also watching the fans. You know, Seattle and Atlanta are probably the two wildest events that I've been to. I know
Yeah.
Canada's pretty wild itself, but it's like watching the fans just totally lose their shit and stomp the stands to where it almost feels like there's a breakdown. It's the whole atmosphere that kind of makes that vibe as part as that battle. But yeah, there were so many good battles, but those were definitely our top three.
Yep.
Yeah, and then going into favorite event of the year, you guys just named it right there. I really like Seattle. I think that track is one of my all-time favorites. That specific event just had so much from what you just described, from the three-wheel action of getting into Nofa to my favorite battle of Dean and Osbo. I think there's some other awesome things that happened. I'm looking at the bracket right now, but none of them are completely off the top of my head. Know what the best ones were there, but it was just an overall awesome event. Also in Pro 2 there, we saw my buddy Dylan Hughes' first Formula Drift Pro 2 event, and he
Podium.
lasted through the ranks, got a second place at that event, and ran out of tires and wheels, had to start borrowing from a buddy. His car was, it was probably underclass compared to almost everyone else out there, but thankfully with him and Forsberg as the spotter in the stands, they tackled the competition and definitely made a name for himself there, and hopefully get to see a lot more from the Dozer Dylan later this year in 2018.
Well, do you know what it's like? You could look at each event as kind of like its own special moments. Like going to Long Beach. Obviously, Long Beach has so much hype because it's the first event of the year, and everybody's like, "Dude, Long Beach is nuts because everybody's bringing out their new cars and the drive." So there's a lot of excitement in Long Beach, and then you kind of get through Florida and you get to Atlanta. Once again, Atlanta's another event that really starts setting the pace for the championship. If you performed well in the first two in Atlanta, you know the championship chase is going to be good. Obviously, Irwindale, the grand finale, Seattle. Irwindale this year, watching Odie crash into James Dean and taking Dean out. There was so much excitement. So each round kind of has its own thing. I would say Seattle was one of the best, and Irwindale this year was one of the best.
And seeing Wieczek win with his entire friends and family and 50 or 60 Polish / Irish people there supporting Team Warthouse was just absolutely insane to see him get that.
What do you call it? Team what?
Wart face.
I heard something
Team
else,
Warthouse.
but let's proceed.
Finally, kind of wrapping up here, 2017, biggest upsets of the year.
Well, is it considered an upset of this year for something that's happening, or more like it's not happening next year?
Whatever you personally believe 2017 is your biggest upset.
Yeah, Paco, you define that as
Yeah,
you will,
if you want to make an upset for 2017 complicated, it's up to you. Or if you have one, spit it out, bud.
I think
my biggest upset was when I spilled beer all over myself.
Oh my
that's
god, I didn't even know about that.
Yeah, in Irwindale, I cracked open a smooth cold smoothie at the end of it, and I spilt it on my chest, and that was upsetting for me.
That's a party
personally.
foul.
That's a semi-chili dog too.
Ooh.
God,
Yeah, sorry. Go ahead, Paco. What's yours?
I think Hankook Living.
Really?
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. I mean, that didn't happen in 2017.
Yeah,
but it's an
that is
upset for these.
That is an upsetting thing.
It
going
did happen
forward,
before the end of the year.
Yeah, true. They announced it before the end of the year, so. And the consequences of that over all the other drivers, we've seen their reactions on their public posts.
Yep.
I think it's definitely upsetting some. I mean, all the drivers who were
Hankook are now kind of scratching their heads, saying, "Where are we going?"
Yeah, I mean,
well, I don't think there's any way we're going to talk to any one of those drivers anytime soon. So let's just move on for now. I would think
my upset. Can I give you guys my upset? And I think you guys.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes,
So here's my upset.
Uh-oh.
Oh, and I've been pondering this one for a while. And my biggest upset for 2017. Oh boy.
Uh-oh.
The FIA Drift Championship.
Oh.
That is my 2017 drifting upset, is how that event was produced and ran, and I was so sad to watch it, and it could have been operated so much better. And talking with Odie and Field and the guys that worked on their team saying how it was organized and how the drift box worked and how complicated it was, and people were on R compound tires and some were on, DOT tires that they had to run in Formula Drift and the rules. I would have to say the FIA Drift Cup was one of the biggest upsets that happened to drifting this year for multiple reasons. It could have been the biggest and baddest thing that happened, and unfortunately, it was not that exciting.
Yeah, I mean, we've already been told that they're looking into the next event and going forward, and Lantain had said that they definitely looked at how that event went and hopefully are going to use everything they learned from that to go forward and create what will hopefully be a world series of drifting that we will see the sport keep on progressing on that level. But we will not know until we see the next event, wherever that may be.
One last thing.
It is something awesome.
One last thing on that topic. Sam, did you already say your biggest upset besides spilling beer?
That's it.
All right. I'll throw in this one last thing before we move on. I'm going to speak on your guys' behalf, even though maybe I shouldn't. But do you know what?
Oh, boy. Here we go.
What about the low car count?
Yeah, it was definitely something that was interesting from the start. How they dealt with it with all the buy runs was definitely noticeable at every single event, as we had all these runs that they at one point decided to run the solo runs, then they decided later on in the year not to run them. And it was buy run, as we've called them, was definitely a prevalent part of 2017, and I guess we'll see going in 2018 as we get a couple new drivers, a couple returning drivers, and we're going to see some long-time drivers back out, no doubt. So hopefully we get that number back up, and if not, I guess we'll talk to our drift dads, Jim and Ryan, and see what they have to say.
Well, a lot of Pro 2 drivers did make announcements officially that they're moving up to Pro 1. So you have Josh Robinson.
Yep.
You have...
who's also contender for prettiest boy on grid.
Yep. We have Dirk Stratton saying he's moving up.
Yep. And we were promised an exclusive that apparently is not happening anymore, because yesterday I saw the announcement that Ryan H. Literal is coming back to Pro.
Yeah, but he doesn't know he didn't announce what.
Yeah. He just said that.
He's coming back to Formula Drift. We'll see what. So Literal maybe is coming back. We just don't know which one
gotta
he's
give
running.
Details.
But hopefully he'll be able to give us the dirty deeds here in a little bit. But once again, 2018 is going to be, I believe, an awesome year, especially with just the development of the series, the low car count, drivers making announcements coming back, new tire sponsors entering the series. That's another announcement, yet hasn't been released yet. So we have a new tire manufacturer coming in on board. I think the sport has developed a lot since the beginning of the season. I think the competition, the battles were some of the best we've ever seen in the sport. I think the way the show operates was super efficient. There was one event where there was a few holdups through accidents and crashes, but other than that, I think the shows was pretty exciting.
I think one of the best improvements from this year, which I think it's definitely showing that it's helping, is having Ryan Lantain explaining the results and how every round is being judged.
Yep.
Because it seems like more and more people is finally understanding how the battles are won, and there's been a lot less controversy over decisions, which hopefully that'll make it for an even better 2018 season.
Right.
That'll be in part big, not having all this crazy noise every time.
Even going down through the comments, and I totally agree with this, Pro 2 is going to be another awesome year. I think Pro 2 this year was one of the best years Pro 2 has ever operated. And you can kind of see the progression from Pro 2 first started up and now. Now you can look at the top dudes in Pro 2 and say, do you know what? They're qualified. They have a good program. They have a great car. They're competitive. So Pro 2 has now developed itself over its years to be a great stepping stone for that advancement in Pro 1. And we've seen it with all the drivers. Everybody in Formula Drift, I say this over and over, even from first to last, everybody in Formula Drift has to be a capable driver to be there. Now it's getting to a point where you have the proper stepping stones to be good at that next one. And now it's just a matter of getting the grassroots or the Pro-Am guys to be able to make that jump a little bit easier into Pro 2 to try to close that gap. And I hear there's a few other Pro-Am sanctioning bodies that may be popping up to help develop that gap from Pro-Am to Pro 2 to Pro 1. So a lot is changing. But I think the sport's only getting better. 2017 was just a taste to leading up into 2018. So there's a lot of announcements going there. And coming to our Maximum Driftcast, what can you guys expect from us in 2018?
Yeah.
Leave it on the comments down below. Wait.
Well, no, we got to tell them, Paco.
No.
Come on.
Paco, come on.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave your comments below. Yeah. 2018 for us, guys. So let's break this down just real quick before we start getting with our special guest. We've been around now for 3 years.
Almost 3 years.
Almost 3
It's
years.
gonna be 3 years at
Well-
the end of January, early February, and go on, Corey.
January 26th at 5:59 p.m. The Driftcast was born.
So bloated.
2016. That was the first episode of Birth of a New Drifter, and we're coming up to our 3rd year. And,
Are we gonna do anything special for that anniversary episode?
We probably should do the same as we did last year and have a fan special episode where
Which was a lot of fun. We called you guys. So last year, if you were around for that show, we asked our listeners to leave us their contact information, and we called you guys on the show, and we just talked about pretty much anything.
Right.
It got ridiculous. It got wild. But I think we want to do the same thing again, right?
Yep. So we're gonna do the show for the listeners, or the show for the Driftcast brethrens. So what we will do,
For
as
the
Sam was
Drift
kind of
Mass.
mentioning, was we'll have a show dedicated to you guys to tell us about you instead of about these pro guys we kind of already know about. We want to know about you guys.
Yeah.
So we'll set up a message board where you guys can contact us or give us your phone numbers or the best way to contact you
Or your
Just
Skype.
Instagram.
or Instagram, and then we'll just call you guys and have you on the show. So
Yeah.
if you have Skype, we'll
So we'll
pop-
let you know what time and when we're going to be recording the show. You guys send us a Instagram private message with your contact info, and I think we're
So-
kind of going to draw out of a
social
hat.
security number, full address.
And,
we'll
we're
do the
gonna
whole shebang.
harass you.
The other thing, let's talk about this. We have a new website being made
It's about to be
Oh my
dropped.
God.
Things are big for it this year, man.
within the next 2 weeks, and we'll have announcements on the website. Driftcast is going to have an official website with late breaking news. We'll have a streamed podcast through the website. We'll have merchandise on the website.
Music playing when you get to the landing page. There's going to be GIFs. There's going to be animated PNGs in the background. You ever seen hamsterdance.com? It's
Oh.
going to be like that.
Oh.
We're going to have 2 hamster dances.
Let's
looped
have
over
3
each other. It's going to be really loud. You're not going to be able to mute it. There's going to be pop-ups.
pop-ups everywhere. The ones that you
Pop
can't
unders.
close.
Pop-unders, pop-ups, pop-outsides, pop-tarts. You name it. It's going to be
Poopies.
hard to look at. It's going to be hard to click on anything.
Yep.
The buttons are
Yeah.
going to be
Clickbait.
misaligned.
Everything's
It's going to be
clickbait.
dead links.
We're literally gonna take over your computer.
Yep. So we are developing a new website. I know it's much needed, but now is the time. So we're gonna have a website that is very easy to navigate. Once again, has an ability to purchase merchandise. We'll have late breaking news. We'll also have content creators. So we are looking. This is kind of like a special announcement, but we're gonna be looking for content creators and
Who go to all kinds of
to go
drift
to
events.
Pro-Am events, Got Bill events in Australia, New Zealand. We're looking for official content creators through Driftcast to post your experiences from each drift event that you go to. So you can share your experience at your drift event in your region through Maximum Driftcast. So we're actually going to get more diehard into the Pro-Am, the grassroots, as well as the Formula Drift. So we're going to be broadening a little bit more, touching more on each form of drifting across the world. So soon,
And it'll be cool to let some of the new class and younger media dudes flex out there, because I know it's definitely difficult for me to get started in Formula Drift, not having a house to essentially sponsor and vouch for me, saying that I was a good dude. Thankfully, my buddies at Hooniverse did that for me, but this will hopefully allow us to let some of you new media guys get out there and start producing some content, because that's how you get started in this world.
So we will be looking for new driftcasters here in the next couple weeks, days. But once again, we're trying to touch every base of the drifting community and give back more to all forms of drifting across the world. So that's another exciting thing we're looking at coming up in the next few weeks. Patreon. Patreon's been huge for us, guys. You've allowed us to keep the show going into the 3rd year. We appreciate you guys. So if you still want to be a part of the Patreon, please join us on that. We'll have a link on the website, and also we'll post it here. And then also
Yeah,
we have
and we're also going to finally have merch available for regular things. We've had merch through Patreon before, but that was, of course, you had to be a Patreon member, which we always encourage you to do, even if it's just $1 or less. It doesn't matter. Every little bit helps keep the lights on, and Paco and swagged out jackets. But we're going to have merch for sale on the website shortly after launching, I believe, right, Corey?
Yep, shortly after launch, we'll have all the merch up. The other things that we will be doing is let's go to our sponsors. AM is going to be on board for another year. McLeod is going to be on board for another year. And we have maybe 2 more sponsors I'll be jumping on that we'll be announcing in 2 weeks. But those guys are helping us keep the show going. So we have so much more information coming up on that. But it's going to be an awesome year for all of us, guys. We're super stoked to be going into our third year. We're super stoked to have you guys be a part of this. You guys, we've hit over 700,000 audio downloads. 700,000 listeners.
Just audio.
Just audio downloads for this.
An average of 4,000 to 5,000 people watching the live stream on Facebook.
Yep.
I mean,
so this is something that we're super passionate about, and now with your guys' help and the community itself, we're able to continue to keep doing this. So thank you guys. We're only going to make it bigger and bigger going in 2018. And now I think we got all that out of the way, unless Paco got some more thing.
Yeah.
Corey's going to be getting bigger and bigger in 2018 too. You can look forward to his waistband filling out. He's finally decided to go full hot dog and really let it all hang out, right, Corey?
Damn right, Sam. So I'm going to be working on a few more hot dog suits. I'm going to be eating pasta sauce. I'm going to be eating SpaghettiOs. I'm going to be eating everything that you could possibly throw at me. And
it's like when like athletes that they put on the cover of Wheaties. Like for you, they're gonna put you on the cover of the pasta cans, right?
Right. Yep. So once again, I'm like a bear. I just went through the winter mode, so now I'm ready to get back into the spring fling here in the next couple of weeks. So.
Well, with that said, why don't we just bring in our first guest of the year?
I'd say we just close up the show.
Okay,
let's end on the highest note we can, and I'd say there's probably nothing else to even talk about.
Well, do you know what? Can I
look forward to 2018? Nothing is going to bring us down.
Well, here, let me do this. Can we do a Paco? We've talked about this. Should we do a proper introduction for this lad?
I think we should.
Okay, I'll start off.
You start. Okay.
All right. So, hey guys, our first guest leading in the 2018 Maximum Driftcast. He is the strongest man in drifting.
The most passionate driver.
He beat up Von Gittin at arm wrestling once. I saw it.
Beat Von Gittin in arm wrestling. He has a six-pack that Marky Mark is jealous about.
And Kangushi.
Kangushi, I never heard of her. This guy's way stronger.
He weighs only a quarter of Corey's weight.
Yes. He's beautiful in every way. He was the runner-up against George Clooney in The World's Most Sexiest Man.
He's the most interesting driver that drives drifting.
And he is Brian. Brian, he
is from Florida.
Okay, hold on.
He drives. Let's do the Jared DeEnda thing. All right, the winner, the guest is from the state. He
United
drives
States.
a 240SX
with an engine.
It has wheels on it.
He has muscles. Oh, and now he's not picking up?
No, I think we overblew him. We blew him up, and now he's shy.
So now, all right, I guess the episode might be over. I just went through this big, exciting intro for this guy. This is like better than any WWF intro you've ever had. Let's try it again.
All right, he's got hair. Sometimes it's on his neck and not.
It's curly like a pube.
Do you know what I'm going to do? Hey, if you guys want to describe Pat Goodin in the comments, I'm going to read it off here.
Whoa, who?
Drop. Okay, his first name starts with Gat, G-A-T. He is he's good at rugby. Okay, let's see.
He's a professional boogie boarder.
He's the king of spring break, says Wesley Johnston. Is that true? He's the king of spring
I don't know if he still is.
No, he still is.
He's a king of the broken hearts.
He's a wall magnet. Jeffrey J.B. Butler says he's a wall magnet. That could be.
It looks like he's also very bad at technology, apparently. So while we figure it out,
hey, Big Balls, pull that mic down. What's happening?
I think he's wherever he's at. It's pretty rural, and he might be on the track or something. I don't know because he's not picking up.
Oh my God! So Norman Absher says, and he's a mediocre driver. Rafael Lopez says his palms are spaghetti. Knees are spaghetti. He's the son of Donna from Michael McKenzie.
He vomit on his sweater already.
And here he is, June Meng, everybody.
Yay!
June, how you been, buddy? We've been waiting for you. We've been doing all this hype saying
video.
Pat Goodin's going to be on the show, but that's all right. Who do we got here? June, how you feeling?
Hey, it's me, June.
Hey, June.
Hey. Things have been great.
That's nice. Well, thank you.
Thank you for calling in, June. All right, let's end the show.
Okay, thanks. See you guys later.
We can't see you though.
There's no video.
That's fine.
Yeah.
We'll survive. As long as we finally have June here, we've got so much to say after all these years. Tell us how do you do it?
I take it one day at a time, one Junado at a time.
Ooh.
Never too much pressure.
Sounds about right.
And do you know anything about our favorite friend of the show, Pat Goodin? What's he up to these days?
Terrible person. He's literally the worst.
Okay, well, we're sorry to hear that, but he's a scheduled guest. Can you hand over the phone to him?
Yeah, put him on the
let me
camera
see if I
too if
grab
you
real
can.
quick.
All right, cool.
Yeah, let's put Pat on the camera too if you can. That'd be great.
Nah.
Oh, hey, here I am, guys. How are you?
Oh, hey,
hi.
Pat. So happy to finally talk to you. We're talking to June Mang. That guy really hates you.
I didn't
Yeah. He's a really nice guy to everybody but me. He just hates me.
know
That's
you guys
awesome.
were roommates.
Yeah, it's a new thing we're trying out. Not working well.
Oh, man, that's a bummer. But at least everything else is going perfect for you and June, right?
Sure.
Cool. So what are your plans for Formula Drift 2018?
Well, I'm not gonna do it.
Wait. What? Hold on 1 second. We were supposed to make some big announcements here. What is going on?
Yeah,
Hello?
things were not too great the last 2 years, and this last year was completely terrible. And I needed to build a new car. I needed to restructure everything, and I just took some time to think about it and decided it was in my best interest to not run the 2018 season.
All right, so what are you going to be running for the 2018 season now? So we just talked a lot about really enjoying you as a driver. What's your plan for 2018 in Formula Drift to be driving?
Nothing. Not gonna drive anything.
All right, so like a Corvette maybe, or are you gonna?
Yep, I'm gonna be in a 2023 Corvette with a Ford Performance Illuminator.
LS,
yeah,
an Illuminator LS.
Four-cylinder
not driving
LS.
Ding dong.
Oh, okay. Well, this guy's aggressive now.
So I guess you're still gonna be running Hankooks.
That I'm not too sure of yet. I reached out to FD, just let them know that I wasn't going to be driving this year. Told them I'd still love to be involved in some way, either at the events or when they do their demos, like out of the country, stuff like that. But really, right now everything's kind of open. And also, like if some person decided they wanted a mediocre Formula D driver to drive their car in Formula D, I would absolutely do it.
Call Corey.
Oh no, I'm not even a mediocre one yet. So Pat would be before me.
Do you not have your video Skype activated?
He just has to
because you're
push it.
crying?
No, it is. I can see me.
Okay, well,
I turned it off, and I'll turn it on
Yeah,
again.
turn it on right now.
Please do.
Turn it on.
Yeah.
looks like he's
on.
crying. He's crying a lot. That's
not
actually
crying,
probably
Sam.
it's probably the best if you guys don't see this. He looks really messy. He's
I don't-
crying a
Wait,
lot.
can you see me, Sam?
No, I
No.
guess. Well, I mean, yeah, I see you personally, and you're crying a lot. But I mean, I imagine that no one else can see you. It's just me. So I'm just gonna dictate what you look like to everyone. For
You
the
guys know Sam is like my least favorite person.
We don't have your video yet, Pat.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's-
so does he have to push a button, Brian?
click
I don't-
like
yeah.
a little camera shaped icon and
Yep.
you're
On your Skype.
yeah.
And I just turned it back off. Oh, now it says nothing.
All right, so you just have to take my word for it. Pat's crying a lot. Pat.
I'm not crying, Sam.
All right, that's just his face is wet. He has washed his face for a minute.
Whatever. You're crying.
You're crying. Pat, what are you going to be doing instead of driving in Formula Drift in 2018?
Well, I bought back a car that was nice and now is the biggest turd in the world from Chelsea.
Mhm.
And I'm going to completely ruin every idea I had of keeping that car basic with just a normal SR in it.
Mhm.
I'm going to build it, put a dumb transmission in it, make it too low, do all that stuff, and make... Oh, excuse me.
Oh,
I wish we had video of that.
Yeah, that'll be
dang it.
nice.
I don't know. Maybe you guys got bad equipment. I don't know what to tell you.
Oh my God.
All right,
okay.
now you
All
are
right, well, hold on.
attacking us.
I can still see Pat. I can still see Pat on video. He's crying and his shirt's off now.
Oh,
So-
Sam, can you really
probably-
see Pat?
Yeah, he's covered in makeup and he's crying. He's putting on Pat. Don't put on that lipstick. It's weird. We know you're having a hard time not being informed of the drift, but it doesn't mean you need to wear makeup awkwardly.
He's
Well,
on,
anyway,
he's on
guys,
his
it was
site
great
book.
talking with you tonight. We'll catch up again. Never.
Hey, so
No, wait,
fun
you're
fact,
still
real
gonna
quick.
be-
Fun fact, just on the topic of that car Pat says he bought from Chelsea. Chelsea did comment saying, "It's a great car, Pat." And Pat, didn't I text you when I saw the picture of the car and I said, I watched Chelsea nearly make that thing explode in Panama, and it was only running on 2 cylinders, and then we got it running on 4, and then it barely ran.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
it was. I would figure that's a good investment
We-
after, especially watching Chelsea destroy that thing.
we saw Pat running on 7, 6, 4 cylinders in that same engine. I mean, that seems more reliable than one that only has 4 cylinders, right?
Well, okay. So that was my 2012, 2013 car, and I got T-boned in Texas at a fun event. Literally hours after I said, "Hey, I've never left my car like out of the state for FD, and I'm going to travel, and I'm really nervous, and I don't really have the means to fix my car. So, I'd like it to be, I know I'm going to drive with everybody and have fun, but like, can we just be like, hey, like, don't crash into the Formula D cars?" And the guy that said, yes, absolutely, no one will crash into your cars, literally totaled the car the first time anybody followed me.
Sounds about right.
So I quit driving that car because it was a little bit bent, put an SR in it to go to a demo in Honduras for FD. And I did the worst things to that SR that anyone's ever done to an SR. We thought it was knocking, so we started putting motorcycle gear oil in the engine oil
Yeah, sure. That
to
makes sense.
quiet the knockdown.
Yeah.
Surprise, it was just a belt that had come loose and was hitting something else. So it sounded. Anyways, then I got real pumped, and I did second gear, which for a T25 SR is impressive. Second gear Camaro donuts for about 5 minutes,
hmm
Okay.
280-degree water temp.
Yep.
Then I incited a riot.
Okay. Yeah.
Car turned off, wouldn't turn back on. I was like, well, this is fine. Get it to start again. And I was like, oh, cool. It lives in Honduras for a month or two, comes back. I was like, all right, well, I'm going to sell this car. I don't want to, but I kind of need the extra money. So I sold it to Chelsea. And I was like, hey, man, you saw what I did to it. He goes, yeah, whatever, no problem. Sell it to him. He takes it. Put a GTX on it, injectors, a tune, all that. Takes it up to Englishtown. And I knew the body was beat up. That's fine. But the last time Chelsea drove it drove fine. I watched him drive it. It drove perfect. Like,
Well, Chelsea's good at
Nothing-
driving pieces of shit.
no. Like,
he's
it
a
ran,
master,
it ran
son.
great. It didn't overheat. The quarter panels were crushed in and stuff like that. I was like, oh, that's not a big deal. I'll just cut them off. I picked the car up, and it hasn't really ran since then. So there's a magical fairy living in Philadelphia that made this car not work.
So you're bad at drifting. You bought the worst SR powered S13 ever made. Now what's your plan?
I mean, just
no,
well, so far-
at least you still have your S15, right?
all right, guys. Well, it's good talking to you.
What's up? What's up with that car?
I had to sell it.
It's
I didn't want to sell it, but came into a financial situation in my life that didn't allow me to spend a lot of money on a 240 they only made in Japan. So I had to sell it.
So okay, let's cut the crap. This is not April's Fool's, Pat. I mean, are you gonna run?
This isn't April's Fool's, Pat. Cut the crap.
Okay,
Cut the craps.
I'm
Pats.
sorry if you guys can't tell. I'm in full NASCAR attire.
Okay.
I'm drinking White Claws.
Well, no one knows
So
what
you're a
that
gay NASCAR driver.
Well, no, this is because this is Pat's fault.
Okay.
He got me into this shit. And as you
Okay.
can see in the background, I mean, I'm obviously like looking for a sponsorship by White Claw. White Claw, the best spritz.
But you have 1,000
alcoholic
sponsors
drink.
on your jacket, Paco.
There's
You're
no-
already...
Wait, hang on, pause. This
There's
is where.
room right here.
Hold on.
Uh-oh.
What,
So
Pat?
if
Give us
you-
some scoop.
If you cared about the brand of White Claw made by Mike's Hard, you would know they're really into fitness, and
Oh.
they have
Hey, the
zero
fitness whole
interest.
12-pack in
They
my
have zero
face.
interest sponsoring a short little fat man that drives cars.
Well, Paco had a hard time fitness in his jacket.
Well, this is JP Montoya's jacket. It's a little bit, he's a petite man.
Right.
So-
And you're just a monster.
Don't got time for Juan Pablo.
Yeah. Yep. It's my Colombian connection right there.
So,
Okay.
So Pat, how did you enjoy your experience in Formula Drift?
I loved it. I thought it was awesome. When I started drifting, I didn't know anything about Japanese drifting. Didn't watch any of the Japanese videos, none of that. I only knew of FD. And I was like, man, that's awesome. Like, being a little bit of a redneck, I was like, man, these cars got
Little
V8.
bit.
That's pretty cool. And
No way, that's real neat.
Look at
Yeah.
them boys
You slap
sliding
your
missions.
hat on your knee.
right.
Yeehaw.
So, anyways, when I got done playing the spoons, I got up and got a 240, and I, started doing local events, and that's when I started to find out about Japanese drifting. I was like, oh, that's cool. Those cars look really cool, whatever. But I was still so interested in Formula D, and me and my buddy Tom were like, started working going towards Pro-Am, doing FD, all that, and it was just a huge dream of mine to drive FD, and I finally got to FD, and my first year was so my first year was the second most embarrassing year I've ever had in FD. But I was doing it, and I was like, I'm going to do it. And then things got better and better, and then worse and worse. But I don't know. I loved it. I love FD. Like, a lot of people hate on it, and it's just not for you, and that's fine. If you don't like FD, you don't have to like it. No one's telling you to like it. I don't like looking at your car that has 5 degrees of negative rear camber. I think you look like a dingus. And if you think I look like a dingus because I drive FD and my car is not cool, that's fine. I love FD, and I think it's awesome.
In the comments right now, Jeffrey J.B. Butler is saying, like, it's probably the most redneck way of doing. Can I combine my Chevy Camaro and a Nissan? And that's what happened, and magic happens.
And then here comes Pat popping
Here comes
out of the
Pat.
womb.
Yeah.
Yep.
Out of the
I just
Nissan
came
womb.
busting on out.
Hey, so real quick, who did you sell your S15 to? Did you sell to a YouTuber?
Yeah, Adam LZ.
Oh, and how come he doesn't give any shout out? You should be YouTube famous, dude. Come on, dude.
All right,
No,
well,
okay. Here's the thing about LZ. Like, a lot of people give him shit, and whatever. And I've been hanging out with him a lot more recently, and he's not a bad dude. Like,
I don't think he's a bad
I will agree, and I've told it to him, like, yeah, you're a little bit goofy, but you're a good dude. And, like, he is a phenomenal driver. He is. When he first started, and if you watch his videos, which you might or might not, that dude couldn't connect the track for like 3 events. And I was like, oh, okay, whatever. He's got a bunch of YouTube followers, that's fine. Started driving more, started progressing. Got a cage in his car, like, hey, do you want a tandem? He goes, no, I want to practice more. Like, I don't want to, mess anybody up. Like, okay. Then he started going to Japan and like getting all the seat time at Ebisu. And he came back and like, he's one of the best drivers that we have at OSW now. Like, Adam shreds, and a lot of people give him shit for kind of made up silly reasons that don't affect them and shouldn't matter, but I don't know. He's a good dude and he's a good driver.
I was hoping that you'd make a drunk appearance on one of his shows, but I don't know if that's still in the
Well,
works or not.
I went to his open house that he had I don't know, a month or so ago, and me, Kevin Lawrence, and Tommy, my old crew guy Tommy, sat at the end of the street and drank beers because we didn't want to go down there.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah. We were drinking some Miller Lights down at the end of the street. No big deal.
Yeah, an MBD. That's a typical weeknight anyways.
That's a Tuesday.
So FD's done and over with. You're going to be partying in your party car. Do you still have your S13 that you used to compete, and how's that thing in what shape?
That thing is done completely.
Like done, ready to
it's just
go, or done like garbage done?
Done as in a 45-year-old dumpster is in better condition than that is.
How's the drivetrain, the engine, like all the important stuff?
That stuff's all good.
Okay.
I actually bought an E46 330 sedan BMW that I'm going to put all my stuff into and basically try to like develop that car and I still want to come back to FD. It might be in that BMW. It might not be, but put that car together, do LS Fest, East and West. Do maybe if Turismo Drift does rounds this year, I might run a couple of those. Then it'll just be my NA 408, 550 horsepower, still keep my GSR. I'm going to build that car a little more basic than what a normal FD car would be, but still somewhat on par to kind of keep as current as I can. Because if you take a year off of FD, it's really hard to come back. But that's another reason of why I want to be involved with FD, like maybe work with a team, do something just to see how things are going.
Right.
But I'm hoping that BMW will be a lot of fun to drive and keep me somewhat relevant as a 20th something spot FD driver.
But that was my next question: is you do plan to hopefully come back someday? You're not foregoing the sport altogether forever?
No, not at all. And I have nothing against FD, any of that. I'm not leaving FD because of FD. I'm just leaving it because, I've had 2 pretty rough years. Last year was supposed to be a fantastic year, and it really turned on me. And so I just want to take a year off, focus, work with some sponsors, do stuff like that. Really get ready for hopefully 2019. But if it doesn't work out, then I guess it doesn't work out.
Well,
Yeah.
hey, let's talk about your 2018 then. What do you felt gave you the most trouble? Because from an outsider looking in, you teamed up with a new team. Everything was supposed to be fine and dandy. So
You
there
mean
was
2017, Corey?
2017. Sorry, I'm already Sam. I'm in the future, bud.
Yeah.
You're 2000
Yeah, bud.
late. I'm 2008. You're 2000 and late, Sam.
Yep.
Nice.
All
No,
right, Fergie.
so like you had this big thing
Pretty
coming up in
Hosford.
2017 where it's like new team, badass engine, fully built, Pat's back. Why was the year so bad? What ended up happening, or what would you consider bad?
Really. To be honest, things kind of started going downhill before the season ever started. It was, we were supposed to be in a 370Z,
What?
and
So wait,
Yeah.
hold on. You were supposed to be driving a 370Z last year?
right. So we were supposed to be in a 370Z,
Okay, that's
and then
cool news.
The budget didn't work out. Okay, well,
Okay.
we were going to buy X Formula D 350Z that
Tyler
someone
McQuarrie's?
from Canada used to drive.
Who was it? Who
No.
used to drive it?
Briggs' car.
Corey Hosford.
Hold on, whose car?
No.
Sorry, Paco's.
Oh.
Briggs.
Oh, really? Dave Briggs' old car.
That was like a pretty
Yep, that was a pretty gnarly
pretty
build.
good deal.
Yep.
Came with a lot of stuff. No drivetrain, but we had the drivetrain.
Okay.
So we were supposed to do that, and then that didn't pan out. And then it, kind of came down to it. It's like, all right, we need a car. It's like, well, I have my old car. It's just not really in the best shape at all. Then it's, needs a lot of work. But if we have to, it can be used. The car got sent out. They, refreshed the car some, changed some things up, put a different engine in it, like an LSX block. I think it was a 427. Put my Pro Charger on it. Car should have easily done 1,000 horsepower.
Mm-hmm.
Went to the dyno. It made it maybe about 4 minutes into runtime, and we lost the engine on the dyno.
Oh, it's my favorite thing
Yeah.
to happen.
Sounds
That's
familiar.
so fun. How fun is that, dude? Like,
It was the best.
it's the best thing ever. Like, when shit goes really wrong, it is so much fun.
Yep. So then we ended up putting my old engine back in that had some rough times in 2016,
Mhm.
and no time for a refresh. Put that in, and the car made 610 horsepower and like 560 foot-pounds of torque or something like that. It was so shot we couldn't even spray the nitrous on it. So for Long Beach, whatever, no problem. And then I stuffed the car super hard in Long Beach, and that's where things took the biggest turn. Things not really working out the way they were supposed to, and it wasn't really the sponsors. It was more so team management. Literally not knowing if my car was showing up to rounds or not.
Ooh.
And and then it was proposed a lot of stuff that just didn't pan out the way it was supposed to pan out, and I didn't find out till the last minute. Where there was just nothing I could do. So yeah, and then it was their first year running Formula D team, and I think it shocked them, and they weren't really prepared for it. And if I could be completely honest, I would tell them, "Hey, I think this is what needs to happen. I've done this quite a few times, and the things that just did get handled properly, and there was just I don't know. It was
so
a
the
very big
management
learning.
the way the team was being managed. It seemed like there was some overwhelming going on where people weren't used to the way a team should operate. Is that kind of like?
Yeah, and it was the focus was more so centered on a car that wasn't even competing, and my car showed up to the track 4 or 5 times not complete, and I would have to sit out, at least half a Thursday practice, because the car just wasn't done.
Was there anybody else that was aware of what was happening other than yourself?
There were a few people that knew.
Because honestly, from the way you're describing it, it sounds like that you didn't have much options on what is happening and how the team was operated. You were kind of
It basically was it was what it was, and take it or leave it.
Sam, can you translate everything Pat just said if there's a way to translate it?
Hey guys, I'm super pumped to
Announce.
not be driving in 2018. Thanks, guys.
Oh, got it.
That's all summed up. Thanks for the translation. No, that's a bummer because everybody was obviously expecting this this driver coming out, new team, new development, everyone's ready to go, big bang, and then kind of just fizzled out. But I had no idea that it was so much more into it. Obviously, everybody has kind of bad luck, but it didn't seem like it was just bad luck. It was just poorly planned, from what it sounds like.
Yeah.
Well, see,
I would try to bring some people in, and it was shot down. And they'd be like, no, we got it. And I was like, okay, well, that's fine. And about Canada, I gave up.
Well, at least we're being completely honest.
If we're going to be completely honest, I just kind of gave up, and I was like, it is what it is. I will be at every round, and I will do what I can do, but it's just, that's the way they wanted to do things, and it didn't really work out for the best. But I mean, like I said, it was nothing on the sponsors that came in. They were all great and supportive, and
right.
I would total the car and be like, hey, I might not qualify. I'm sorry because I crashed the shit out of the car. It might not be able to be fixed. And they'd be like, dude, no problem. Just, have a presence, talk to some people, do whatever. I'm like, oh, thank you. I'm really, really sorry. No, dude, whatever, it's fine. And I don't know if that was more of the truth or more of well, we're stuck with this sucker for the rest of the year, so we might as well make it as good as we can.
Jeez.
No, I mean, people are buying the full package. They're buying not just the driving skills. They're buying the hairstyle. They're buying the lovable personality.
So basically nothing I have.
They're buying lots and lots of really cheap light beer. These are the things that
they're
come
buying
around
the premier
with that
spokes model of the series is what they're ultimately buying.
Miller Lite is about average price. Thank you.
So, would you think White Claw it's a premium drink?
It's absolutely.
Why are you sucking their ding so hard, Paco?
I don't know. Paco has. It looks like I think Paco smurfed one too many before he came on the show today. But I walked into Paco doing a headstand. I'm like, Paco, what are you doing in a headstand? And then I heard him butt chugging a full can of White Claw.
That'll get you.
So hold on. Let me ask you this: if you could have changed one thing last year, what would you have changed?
I would have ran on my own again.
There you go. That's
without a car, just running.
Just run.
Yeah, I would have got some new shoes and.
Corey thought of doing that first on rollerblades.
No, I don't run, Paco. I don't.
On rollerblades.
I don't do anything physical. I don't like sweating.
Downhill Atlanta.
I don't like walking. I'm sitting in this roller chair. I want to roll around for the 2018. My goal for 2018 was not to walk. I'm gonna just roll around in this chair, and I'm gonna have you lift me. I'm gonna have you carry me everywhere.
Yeah. Maybe I think these are ball bearings, right? I think these,
Yeah,
these
that's
should help you.
Pat's.
Maybe should we just give this to Pat? Pat, I don't know if you can see this, but do you know what this is?
I can't
Jesus.
really.
No,
you're
'cause
let-
You gotta stop playing with that.
I'm sorry.
Are
Paco's
those
been.
anal beads?
They said they
Is that
weren't.
what it is? I don't know.
No, they're stress balls.
I thought it was a
Yeah.
medallion.
They're stress
Big
balls,
Christ.
like the
Stress
ones
balls.
that you. I don't know.
I'm really stressed out that you guys can't see me.
I know. I think that's
Well, no,
something on
but
your
I
end.
mean, I can still. It looks like Pat is actually smurfing, just like Corey was talking about. He's
Well,
on
do-
all fours, and he's got a funnel. It's really weird looking.
Well,
but
do you know
I
what we
think it
should
could
do
take
real
up.
quick? Is we should actually just hang up on Pat and have a quick discussion behind the scenes as we call Pat right back.
Let's try to do that.
All right, so Pat, go away for a second. Hey Sam, I want to tell you a secret about Pat.
Hold on 1 second.
Sure.
Yeah.
We'll get back to you, Pat.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Hey Sam,
Yeah.
do you think these beads that we have are Pat's?
I think that those are actually beads from Pat, and the reason why I said Paco should stop putting them
What
in
are-
his face and
what are you
mouth
talking
is
about?
because Pat's been sending me Snapchats all week of him using those beads.
No, and so Paco put them on his eyes.
These are not
He
beads.
put them on his eyes. He put them in his mouth. He's been moving them in and out of his
Paco,
nostril.
you've already told me to sniff
Serve it.
them. I'm not going to sniff them again.
Dude, sniff them.
No, I already. Paco, it does. Nope. Looks like. It looks like. Hold on, big balls is man.
Paco's still playing with them apparently. So
Yep.
okay.
That was my secret. I wanted to ask if they were Pat's. But
Yeah, you're absolutely right. So
I think they're like contacts.
Oh,
They're like
Paco's
my-
looking through them
they're
again.
my-
God.
Paco
I'm
fully
looking-
knows
I'm looking-
well what these are, and
it's
he's still going
looking
for it.
through the looking glass.
Oh, they're like looking at. They're
Is that what
magnifying
it is?
glass. Oh my God! And there he is.
Yay!
Sorry, Pat.
Yay!
It wasn't much of a
Pat, no.
secret, but I
Wait,
basically.
BRB.
Oh my God.
Oh, cool. Pat,
Well,
Pat's
perfect.
here and he's leaving.
I'm not.
He's
I'm
back.
not gonna
Oh,
lie
look
to
at
you
that.
guys. I went to the bathroom.
Oh,
Nice.
did you?
All right.
That was
that-
pretty
yeah.
fast.
Is that your sewing room, Pat?
No, this is so I live with my best friend that I've known for like 20 years and his wife, and this is her office. And I awkwardly text her earlier. I was like, "Hey, like, can I use your office later to talk to like these three idiots?" And she's like, "Yeah, that's fine." And then I walked in here and I was like, "Oh, I forgot it was bright pink." But I did get this American flag.
Dude.
All right, so
wow.
anyways, that's Pat's sewing room. It's where he sews all of his race suits together, and really just overall butt chugs, I think. So
Oh,
Pat's
and
got
he's
his shirt
drinking
back
White
on.
Claw too. Oh my God,
Yay.
what is happening here?
Sure. Okay, I need to pop another one.
Yeah,
Cheer-
grab another one.
Yeah, so you can get the camera on it. There you go. All right. What flavor should I get?
Well, black cherry is the best.
The buck cherry.
Yeah,
Ruby grapefruit will be it. I haven't had one of these. I just butt chug a black cherry one. So.
Oh, okay. Well, you
that's
can't
it.
really taste it through. Well, whatever. That's fine.
Oh my God, it's delicious.
Yeah.
So, are you teaming up with Nate Hamilton this year?
Most likely not.
Okay, I just wanted to see if you were or not. Sorry.
No, it's okay.
No, I'm stoked for you, Pat. I think it's the BMW's gonna be awesome. Your S13 is
Yeah.
gonna be kind of awesome until you finish it. Right now, it's 50% awesome. You need to at least
Yeah.
get to like a 65. A solid 65% would be nice. But what?
I think this is gonna be a good year for you to like regroup, get your shit together, and come back with a vengeance. How about that?
Yeah, that sounds ideal.
Perfect. I mean, dude, yeah, let's do that because I think you bring something to the series that most drivers don't. And it's like that the all American NASCAR style NASCAR fan. You know, I mean, do it for Dale. You know that only you have.
He bridges that gap.
Like, or yeah, or
Paco, don't even go there.
Okay, sorry.
How many other people have been doing it for Dale though? I guess that's my question. Who's going to do it for Dale now?
Well, Taylor Hurl is a
Yeah.
NASCAR fan, but he's still doing. He's actually bringing the Cadillac.
Okay, but
And
let's,
he does
I'm
it for
gonna pass the
Dale.
torch to Taylor.
are you officially passing it? And are you going to get it back at the end of the year or what?
Well, yeah, that's mine.
All right, so you just let him borrow it. Then you're just letting him borrowing. You're not,
should-
I'm
you're
gonna
not
use
giving
the-
it. You're
that-
borrowing it.
You should
I'll-
spot for him.
Yeah, I mean, I told him, but
And he was like, "Oh no, I'm gonna pass on that. Thanks,
he's
Pat."
like, "Oh no, man, I can't afford that many Miller Lights." And I was like, "Okay."
Yeah, it's tough.
Because that's what it takes to get Pat on your team. A lot of Miller Lights.
Yeah, I'm actually just turning into Scott, which everyone might not know, Forsberg's spotter.
Oh.
I'm just real grumpy all the time.
Uncle Scott.
I'm basically old now, and all I want to do is drink Miller Lights.
How old are you? 28?
I turned first 30.
Wow,
a
you're
couple
old
weeks
as
ago.
fuck.
Man.
Well, first 30 is 29, but it's first 30.
I don't understand. First 30?
Well, and basically at 28, you give up on life, and by 29, you're first 30. So when you hit real 30, you're old.
Okay, gotcha.
Got it.
Oh, man.
That's
this
inspiration
is,
right there.
This is depressing, man. It hurts.
So yeah, this is it's
Corey's
really good
32,
at
right?
we started the show so high, so now we can come here.
So
Yeah,
that's the kind of the motto for this episode is we go from the highest highs to the lowest lows with Pat Goodin.
Yeah, that's a Wednesday night.
I mean, I gotta say, from the last time you weren't on our show with us, it's like you were like passing out. You barely talk. Today you seem like you lost some weight off your back. Like you're a happy man.
Looks like you've lost some weight.
I wish I lost some weight.
Paco, okay. Keep going. I
Well,
like
no,
where you're going with this,
I'm
Paco.
not
Keep going.
drunk.
No, let him
I'm
talk.
not in a truck that my damn brake caliper's falling off. My damn brake caliper's falling off of.
my gall dang dog's barking. I got 15 appointments next week with the repairman. What
Barbara,
else do you
where's
have?
my White Claw? Barbara,
Barbara.
Barbara, where's my American flag? I need to hang it up for the boys on the streamcast. Hey,
Yeah,
I don't know what's
I
going
feel
on.
like I'm completing the whole look with my missing tooth.
Yeah, what's up
Oh,
with that? What
what-
happened
yeah.
to your teeth?
We didn't notice that
Uh,
until you said it.
Oh, I had a dental surgery and I'm getting an implant, but I'm a big old baby and I'm scared of the dentist, so
What
I had
size-
to put
me
it
too.
off.
what size
like,
implants are you
a week.
getting?
Is she hot?
I'm only getting one implant.
Oh
not
my
two.
god,
Might
that's
look
gonna be
weird.
you're gonna look so good with this one implant.
Which one's gonna be left or right?
Yeah, that looks like a
Nah,
lefty.
it's a surprise.
Just
I might
wait,
get one in
see.
the middle.
He's gonna give you the field test. See if you can figure it out that way.
All right, you guys. Well, you heard it first. Pat Gunn's getting an implant going into 2018. He's gonna take the rest of the year off. Some drifting stuff. I want to go back to some drifting stuff. What were some
yeah,
highlights? Well, you described your amazing 2017 season, but what was some cool moments for you? And side note, what do you think was not so good about the season, as in the competition as a whole, not as your program, but as kind of the whole? We talked about the low car count. We did talk about some of the cool battles, but what was it about this year that was super cool and like whatever?
And it doesn't necessarily has to be Formula Drifter because you were at Grid Life as well, right?
Highlights and
I was
lowlights.
a good life.
Yeah. So tell us highlight of 2017.
I mean, I'm gonna base most everything off Formula D just because
Right.
that's like where my passion is, I guess. But I think it's weird. It's almost like a double-edged sword. Like James Dean coming here and just being like, "Oh, hey, don't forget, I'm still good. Remember when I drove that like pretty underpowered 2.2 SR S15 and basically smoked everyone? Like, I'm still here, but I have a really good car." Like that was awesome. His driving style was a little bit different, and absolutely no hate against James. Like he's an awesome dude, but like I feel like it was almost the Daigo thing to where he would do something that's like not really cool with the rule book, or like the sporting regulations or whatever the judging would be, and they'd be like, "Oh no, well that's okay. Like he can do it that way, or not just him. Everybody can do it that way." And it got a little like convoluted in that sense. I mean,
Do you have an example of that?
It basically all boiled down to his proximity with following.
Right.
Obviously on everyone the whole time, but he would dip farther
Real-
inside.
Yeah, real shallow.
He would go not real shallow, but like he would surpass front tires. Maybe for just a second, just to kind of make up for it. But like, there's no denying that his follow runs were some of the best follow runs that have ever happened in FD. But it's just if you want to go straight off the rule book, it's like, well, he should have been at a disadvantage. And I think it was, I don't know. I think it was right of FD to kind of change it to be like, no, like, don't tell us how to drive and tell us exactly how to do it. like let us kind of do it on our own. But at the same time, I understand that it's like, well, if the judges say that, then us as drivers are gonna be like, oh, okay, well, you didn't tell us what to do, and how do we know what to do? So
Yeah.
it's just, it's
Those
so
follows were definitely fun to watch, but yeah, I understand what you're saying about then having to change the written word maybe a little bit based off of what you're actually voting for.
yeah, and definitely no hate towards James. Like that dude
Right.
is absolutely incredible as a driver. Yeah, I think watching James come over here was cool to see like just how impressive of a driver he was, but also it sucked because it's like, well, damn, America didn't win, so like that sucked.
Do you have
Well,
a
I feel
chance?
like Osmo would have beat everyone anyways if it wasn't for Dino. So.
Well, then who cares?
Did you ever drive against Dean this year?
Oh, thanks for stealing my question, Corey.
Sorry, Paco.
You're
I mean,
okay.
I like
Practice with
he followed me somewhere in practice, and it was terrifying. And then I followed him somewhere, and I was just like,
Follow-
"Oh, my car doesn't work," and I almost hit him 1,000 times. And
Did you
so it
fo-
wasn't anything like I wanted it to be, but
Did you follow him to a bar after the round? Maybe was that a close follow?
I mean, I tried. I don't think he really drinks though.
What?
Yeah.
Sorry. Irish.
Well, hold on. I have proof in Texas that that's not the case, but
Well, I know but like not, he's not trying to smoke a 12 or a Miller Lights after every event.
he's no Pat Goodin, if you know what he's
Yeah, okay.
Are you still the king of spring break?
I would like to think. I would like to think so. No, I'm keeping that.
one. Yeah, you can keep that one.
Yeah.
I'm keeping that one.
Yeah.
I think it says it on my shirt actually that I am. So
Can you turn around? All right. Good.
Just
I
a-
don't know what you can see.
Yeah, we could see it.
I
We
can
see,
it.
we see a bunch
Your-
of neck
your last
hair
name.
and a mullet, and like a part mullet.
Neck hair is incorrect. I am not that hairy, but I do have a bullet, 100%.
From our Facebook, Pat Genitelle asked,
What's up, Pat?
"Who's scarier to drive against, James Dean or Yokoi?"
Dun, 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 dun.
Oh, cool. Mexican Jeopardy's back on. Turn on your TV.
Oh, sorry.
Probably, I would have to. Me personally, I'd have to say Yokoi because I know James followed me at least twice, and James never hit me, and Yokoi crashed into my car like a maniac. Like he's following me on the bank at Seattle, and I'm in the turbo car. It's super quiet. And I'm going. I'm like, oh, I'm killing it. Like maybe I'll beat Yokoi. And I just hear wastegate, and I look real quick to the right, and dude's basically in my car with me, and I was like, whatever. Like,
I'm gonna spin out or throw this one away.
cool. Like,
How do I
put the
tap
towel
out?
on
How do I
the
tap out?
And he would do these amazing follows on the bank that did not make any sense. And then we'd come off the bank, and I'd say hi, and he would just go, "No, I'm gonna drive in the inside. Like I'm gonna almost rub my bumper on the wall," and then switch back, and he'd have to try to like make it up, and then he'd hit me.
Nice.
But
Cool.
Jeremy's exact quote of Yokoi following me was, I got on the radio. I was like, "Jeremy, how was that? Like I know he was on me, but he just goes, he's like, Yokoi was ripping his dick off behind you." Was the exact quote.
What?
Oh, boy.
I
He was ripping
tried
his
to
dick
picture
off.
that in my mind, and it doesn't look right.
But that's what you do when you're doing a crazy chase run. You just rip your little dingus off, and that's just go turn it up to 11.
Wow.
Yeah.
What do you think is your most awesome victory? That who's the driver that you have defeated that you're like, oh, fuck yeah, I got this guy.
Or moment.
Well, it was cool. The first time I beat Daigo.
You
Rob-
see?
First time, what's up?
Well, only, but
First and only time, what's up?
That's what.
Well,
That's
actually,
all it takes.
The first time I lost to Daigo was the first time I drove against him in 2013 at Palm Beach, and I was just like, man, I got Daigo, like whatever, like I can't beat him. And Tom Barnhart, my best friend, and he was like my crew chief at the time. He goes, "Nah, you can beat him." I was like, "Yeah, right." And he's like, "Nah, you can beat him." I was like, "Okay." So we're running like 8 pounds of tire pressure, like all kinds of just terrible things to my car. And he goes, "Just try to hit him because you're never going to keep up with him." And I went, "Okay." the whole time I'm trying to hit him, and I did like a pretty good follow, and I was like, whoa, crazy.
That's a good
Then I did
technique.
my
That's
lead,
genius.
and it was like, okay. And they're like waiting forever to like make the call, and I'm like, yo, what's up? Like talking to my spotter, like, what's up? What's up? And it was my ex-girlfriend Amy. She goes, it might go one more time, and I was like, yeah, right. Like, no way. She goes, no, like seriously, it like that was really, really good. Ended up it was 2 for Daigo, 1 for me, which I was like, that's crazy. And I came back, and Daigo came up to me, and this is so 2013 at Palm Beach was the event that he decided to stop speaking English to everyone.
Right.
Because he got
Before that,
touchdown.
he absolutely did.
And he said, and Jared said, Daigo, how do you feel? And he said, delicious. So he quit speaking English to everybody, but he's like him and Robbie are standing there, or they walk up to me, and Robbie's like, wow, that was really good. And Daigo's like, oh, scared, good driver, you know, like whatever. And I was like, oh, thanks, like that's super cool. And Robbie's like, yo, like that was a really good round, like you had Daigo sweating. And I was like, wow, that was one of the best for me, because when I actually beat him, he just like crashed into me like a dummy.
Can we say that Pat is the reason why Daigo stopped speaking English?
No, he's the reason why Daigo quit FD.
Yeah, well, actually, well, I don't care because he hates me for
He hates
some
me
reason
too.
I don't know.
It's okay.
At Powers, I was the last person to ever beat Matt Powers in FD.
Wow.
He does
that's
not
a
like
cool
me.
one.
Don't know why.
Do you know what I wish? I wish after you beat somebody in a battle, you take a pull off your cigarette and blow it in their face.
I wish I was like Dick Trickle and had a cigarette lighter in my car. Wear an open face helmet.
What's stopping you?
Well,
that-
nothing.
is
Now
that
he can do
FD?
whatever he wants. Now he's a free agent. This dude
Yeah.
can do
Yeah.
whatever he wants.
I think I say you go the Drake Trickle way, and like I want to see you in an open face helmet, cigarette on your mouth while pulling the e-brake, and then going the other way instead of like pulling like a hang ten through the window.
Pat usually does this. He does the. Can you show us what he does? A full extension. Pat.
There you go.
Yeah,
Like
so he does.
Yeah. Instead of doing one
Now,
of those to the
We
window.
call these the H-ster.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're the
That's
H-ster.
too much
Yeah,
extension,
you rip
dude.
one of these.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, instead of
Yeah,
doing
maybe
one of
of
those, you grab your cigarette and like flick it through the window while you're going the other way.
Yeah, I'm gonna flick it in Matt Powers' car and be like, "Why do you hate me? Be friends with me, please. That's all I want."
Well, if we can never get him on the damn show, we've tried multiple times, but he shows no interest. So
Probably don't like
unfortunately,
you guys either.
Did
no,
you guys?
he loves me.
Which, by the way, do you guys
Just kidding.
notice
I don't know that.
What do we
that
notice?
Matt Powers' Instagram is not Powers Drifts anymore?
It used to be Power Sucks.
It's always been Power Sucks.
It's okay. Well, so now it's Powers Drives.
Really?
Yeah,
Mm.
his Instagram.
He's going corporate, boys.
He's going corporate. That's it. He's going rogue.
The Kia Stinger life just screwed him up,
That's.
dude.
I'm
The-
ready. I'm ready for that live.
The
let me
Kia
tell you that.
Stinger gave him the Kia Shocker, and
got
now, because is it? Hey Brian, turn over to me real quick. So isn't this the Shocker?
That's a
Yeah.
shocker.
That's the Spock Shock. Now, which one's the Kia Stinger?
I think it's like this way.
Oh, I'm trying to figure out all the hand signs. I'm still working on it, but that's why we actually called you. This if you knew how to give a Kia Stinger.
I can't show you guys that one.
Yes, you can. You're all right. You're on camera right now. Show us. Do it.
It's all right. He's gonna say that's a secret
I'll tell you
weapon.
later.
You need both hands for that one.
I got a question for you.
Okay.
Okay. Hold on. This is my serious question for Pat. All right, Pat. Let me get you into an environment mentally. Okay.
Okay.
You're sitting on grid. What track do you hate the most?
Florida.
Hold on. Let him answer.
There was not a lot of prelude in the building environment there.
Hold on.
Corey.
Just what track do you hate the most?
Well, what do you think?
Orlando.
Yeah, Jersey.
Jersey. You hate Jersey. I love Jersey. Okay. So here you are, sweating your little dick off in New Jersey.
Very little.
You pull up to grid and let's say Formula Dread is sitting there. and
Old dreads.
formulated with his beautiful red dreadlocks, just blowing in the smoke of New Jersey. And Daigo, the ninja Saito, pulls up next to you, right? You're in the chase position, okay? And you know when you're in chase, the rear of the car drops just a smidge, right?
Smidge.
What song comes on in your head to blow Daigo's doors off?
Oh man, you made this too much of a joke and then put way too much pressure on me.
That's
'Cause
all
I
serious.
take
I didn't
this
hear
way
one
too
joke in that.
seriously.
So go
It's
ahead.
amazing you didn't succeed in Formula Drift when you can really do well answering this simple question
Can you,
because
hey,
there's too much
can
pressure.
You guys can you turn him off? Is
Yeah,
there a way to get him out?
we totally
I mean-
can.
Oh, I quit. I'm out.
Oh, he quit before.
Because I think we can all pick a song which we think would be playing in your head, but I want to know what song you would be playing in your head in that type of situation. Remember, you have a sweaty small dick at this point.
Funny, Jason Clark on Facebook says that Aqua Barbie girl.
And
No.
Pat wants me gone, but I'm not talking about his sweaty ding.
Pat's thinking.
It would never be Barbie girl, and it would never be Cotton Eye Joe because that song should have never been written, ever. The terrible techno remix, that's the worst song ever.
Pat just actually texted me what his real selection is. Pat, do you want me to read it?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah,
Uh-oh.
All right, it's Crazy Town Butterfly.
Ooh. Come, my lady. Come, my lady. You're my butterfly. Sugar, baby.
Do you know what I
Yep.
was thinking?
Oh.
Hold on.
Uh-oh.
Oh, hopefully we don't get copyrighted for that.
Oh, yeah. Never mind.
But
Alright,
we
never
can make
mind.
our own. You have to make it mouth. Ready? You're the king of America. Fight for your rights in
yeah, that's
American. The Hulk Hogan theme song is what I
America.
imagine.
No,
I was playing the
Honestly, what
Days
it
of Thunder soundtrack.
it would be Stone Cold Steve Austin's intro music.
Oh, the
That's
shattering glass.
And then I just smash two White Claws or two LaCroix because I'm on grid. I can't drink alcohol.
Yeah.
Smash two LaCroix together, smush them over my helmet, and then Daigo would be 48 cars ahead of me, and I'll be over. And it'd
But
be
you're pumped at least.
by 2012 year.
No, what you do actually in that position, Pat, is you wait for him to do a full lap around New Jersey, or the full outer ring, and then you hop on the middle ring. So
Oh,
the judges say that you can just kind of hop on at the end there, and they don't deduct points if you miss the first corner.
Well, in 2012, you were actually able to go 4 tires off on the inside of a clipping point and still beat Conrad, so that's weird.
I remember that. That was my most disappointing event in the entire history of Formula Drift. That was the one thing that pissed me off the most.
Wow.
Rarely do I ever disagree with the judges. Like,
Yeah.
I can usually figure out a way, not figure out a way, but they'll make the call and I'll look and I'll be like, okay, right, makes sense. This guy did that guy did that. It makes sense. Daigo going 4 tires off and using the front clip as a rear clip and still beating Conrad. I was like, okay, this is not okay. I don't get this.
Well, at that point, do you remember how the judging system worked? How they had like an iPad with the knob on it?
Yeah.
Oh, and Ryan Lontaine's, I think it's Lontaine's, his like, one of his profile pictures on something was the dude from The Simpsons with his head down, pushing the knob like that. It was the best.
So what was happening at that particular time, what I can imagine, is they were looking at their kiosk
They all looked at the
and
knob.
they were just dialing the knobs and missing part of that run. So
Yeah, they were trying to point for. They were like, "Oh, Conrad's doing good." Yeah, he's still
doing
he's
good.
Bad.
how do you go full throttle on this thing? I just don't. It stopped. How do I go past that
Like a-
stopping point?
Like a RC car.
Those were the days.
Yeah, that was only a couple years ago, Sam.
That's when Sam wasn't really around that much, so there was a lot.
No, I was.
It was so much better when Sam wasn't around.
It's so.
Yeah, they definitely have been like the harbinger of the decline of drifting.
I mean, let's just like put 2 and 2 together, like driver count going down.
Mhm.
Like sponsors pulling out. Sam getting better jobs. Sam working for
Coincidence?
better people. Sam,
Predictably,
I
then
think
2018
not.
is
Dude,
gonna
that's
be the best ever because I might not be at Formula Drift this year. So
That's a pretty
Oh, it's
predictably,
gonna be the best year of FD ever.
but I mean, you're not going to be there either. So that seems to juxtapose a little bit. Like, what's the deal?
So, anyways, if the theme, yeah, it would definitely be Stone Cold Steve Austin would be my theme song.
Now, that smokes my Hulk Hogan choice. So
That's close enough.
Good.
because sometimes I want to try to get into the noggin of Pat Goodin and what really goes in that thing. What happens? And now I know. Now I have a taste of what it's like to be
It's
Pat
too
Goodin.
much for anyone to actually take in.
See, because some people say, you don't know what it's like until you walk in their shoes. Well, I don't fit in your shoes because you wear like a size 6. But
So I also,
He also wears cowboy boots.
What is
Check these
that?
bad boys out.
What is that? Is that like a
My
full?
boots.
You wearing boots today?
Yeah.
Damn, Dad, that's a nice rig you got going on your feet.
That's
That's not a bad little setup you got going on. I was wondering, I smelt leather from here. I just didn't know where it's coming from.
I think it's coming from this.
Yeah. Oh, it's from Paco's medallions.
It's fresh leather.
Hey, we should talk about grassroots drifting and why certain people are wrong about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
Oh my
I
God.
can hear that in his computer.
Rip
Let's-
headphone users.
we're doing this.
Let's go down this bumpy road. What
This is
type
a-
of vehicle
this is-
we need to go down this road? Do we need like an old K5 Blazer or what?
You need Gravedigger.
Oh.
All right, so we're gonna hop in Gravedigger real quick. Go on a
1
trip
second.
down Pro-Am Lane.
All right, so give us the rundown because everybody's saying, "Oh, pro drifting is dying, pro drifting is dead. 26 cars, grassroots, let's do it."
Well, it is
What's-
dead now that Pat's left, but
Well,
other than
well, now it's going to be blossoming because supposedly you're leaving, so it might even get bigger. But give us your perception on the sport and everything that's happening in grassroots and pro-am. What's going? Let's go back into Pat's size 6 Crocs and see what he really thinks.
I get so bothered. People are like, oh, grassroots drifting is dying because all these people want to build their cars, and FD is ruining it because all these kids just start drifting CFD, and they're like, I got to build this 1,000 horsepower car with a cage and an LS and a dog box and all this. And I'm like, our drift events back home, the ones that me and Tyson run at OSW Drift, check out OSW Drift. They're bigger than they've ever been, and we get like our average car count is like 50 to 60. We did our 3-day event. We had 100 cars, and grassroots drifting is alive and well and doing great, but we refuse to do competitions. And maybe like once every other year, we're like, oh, we should do a competition because that'd be fun. No one cares. People get mad, and it's silly. But then also you have people that do pro-am, and they're like, how do I figure out pro-am? How do I make it better? Which is good. I think someone should figure out how to make pro-am better, and not necessarily make pro-am better, but entice the drivers, get more spectators, do stuff like that. But then you have these people running pro-am events where they're like, okay, well, yeah, you can come run pro-am. You don't have to have a cage. If you don't own a fire suit, you're fine. Do whatever you want. Just show up and drive. And then we're going to qualify. We're going to pick numbers out of a hat, but a pissed off alligator is going to pick the numbers. And then you got to fight the alligator to pick your number out of the alligator's mouth. That makes no effing sense whatsoever.
Pat, who's using alligators? Is this something we don't know about?
If it is, we should use an.
So anyways, at OSW in 2018, we're going to have alligators. No,
Yeah.
but like
Good announcement.
all these people are like, they're trying to change the structure of pro-am, which I think is the absolute dumbest thing you can do. You should never change the structure of pro-am.
Right.
Only because no matter what anybody says, pro-am is a way now to get your Pro 2 license. So you're training these kids, or not adults, whoever they might be. You're training these people.
Lady boys.
Anyways, can you turn him off, please?
Please. I'm with you. I'm with you. Keep running.
You're training these people that like rules don't really matter. And like, yeah, those people might do it that way, but we do it this way. I watched a Pro 2 driver and whatever year it was, missed his qualifying runs because he was just hanging out. He missed his first run. Then he goes like to the pisser for his second run. He's like, well, what the hell? Like, why didn't you tell me? And they're like, because you should know. Like, you're supposed to know where you are in qualifying. Well, that doesn't make any sense. And it's these people trying to change Pro-Am. Like, you're building these drivers to send them up to Pro 2 or Pro 1 or whatever into, like, a realm that they've never experienced before. And even if you run a Pro-Am strictly by the books, and if FD ran a Pro-Am, that jump from Pro-Am to Pro 2 is mind-blowing. The jump from Pro-Am to Pro 1, like it used to be, no one was ready for that.
Mhm.
Like, no one.
Especially Corey.
Yeah, I would agree. I would agree with that. And I agree, and I want to keep rolling with this. I agree with what you're saying, but I want you to finish.
Yeah, it's if you want to do pro-am, you can do a car show, you can do spectator stuff, you can run a grassroots drift event alongside it. If you have a way to not limit your pro-am drivers, like at OSW, we have 2 tracks, so you could do pro-am on the oval track and then grassroots event on the skid pad. That's fine, but you need to structure your pro-am drivers because there are going to be, I don't know, 10 dudes that show up. They're like, oh, I just want to compete to have fun. Like, I'm just trying it out. That's fine and well, and that's good because that grows your field. And that person might be like, oh, well, let me drive more pro events. Let me compete more. And which is fine if they want to, and fine if they don't want to. But for the people that are there taking it seriously, which also it's shit to talk shit about those dudes taking it seriously. That's their passion, and they're doing it the right way. They're going through pro-am. They're working their way through it. They want to get into Pro 2 in a respectful way.
Right.
But you're limiting those dudes trying to do it right, and then you're teaching them nothing. You're teaching them nothing about judging because, oh, you qualify, like, we're going to pick cigarettes out of a hat, and whoever smokes it the fastest, they qualify first. Like, what does that mean? That means nothing. Like, run it structured the way FD is because those dudes – theoretically, the dudes that want to do FD are going to be the ones that move up, and then you're sending them into this world that they know nothing about.
Mm-hmm.
And I get it, trying to make Pro-Am fun, but why are you, like, teaching them this whole structure that means literally nothing? Yeah. And it's silly to me.
Well, Ollie, can I add on to that just a little bit?
Absolutely.
All right, so let me add just a little bit onto that because I missed a couple episodes when I was out. Everything you say about this, I 100% agree with, right? And some of these series that don't run Pro-Am like the way Pro-Am was originally intended for, that creates that gap from Pro-Am to Pro 2 that much larger, right? If you're not required to run a suit, or if you're not required to run a cage, or if you don't need racing shoes that are SFI certified, Hounds device, you're making that gap larger. So now it's at a point in drifting where it's like the gap or that bridge from between Pro-Am and Pro 2 now is so huge. Well, whose fault is it? Why is it so huge? It's because some of the promoters make it that way because they have the rules and regulations so light. When that dude gets his license, now he's like, I have to redo everything. I don't even have a legal car. I don't even have a fire extinguisher in it. I'm running an illegal subframe in the back, or the rules have been changed and manipulated so much. And I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why it's been changed. Let me tell you why it's been changed. It's been changed because Pro-Am organizations are trying to increase car count. And to increase car count, you got to lighten the load so everybody can get in and run Pro-Am. Well, that's not what Pro-Am's about. Pro-Am's about developing that drivers. The more fun party events, that's for everybody. That's for everybody that just wants to get in, get their feet wet, party, have fun. I still love those events. I'm probably going to do a majority of those events this year. But to bridge that gap from Pro-Am to Pro 2, it starts with the organizers having a similar guideline that matches what Pro 2 and Pro 1 is running, or any pro organization. If you want to run D1, develop yourself through the right means or the right organizations to develop you to be the best D1 driver or the FD driver. Put yourself in a situation where you can bridge that gap and make it smaller. By having all these rules and regulations to increase car count is only hurting the people that want to try to make that jump.
Absolutely. And I'm all for being more strict with Pro-Am because of the jump, just like what you said.
Right.
But also, if you have a problem with that, why would you want to go to FD or attempt to go to FD where things are, even if you run the strictest Pro-Am, FD is more. Why would you want to do that? And if you don't want to do it, it's fine. Like I said earlier, at OSW, we do not do competitions. We don't want anything to do with competitions. All we want to do is grassroots events. We want to do practice events, have fun. We try to do party events. Like, we're trying to, like, adopt what, like, Petty and Tim and all those dudes up at Club Loose did and bring that to us and be like, not necessarily, like, copy them completely, but be like, yo, like, we want to have fun. We want to party. We want to drive. At the same time, we want to progress our drivers.
Mm-hmm.
more so for a pride thing for like Florida, because Florida gets shit on all the time. And we have a group of dudes coming up now that they could really care less if they drive Pro-Am. Some of them might not, and it's fine either way. But we have a group in Florida now that's mind-blowing. Like,
Right.
we've had people come from out of town, and they're like, yo, you guys are crazy. All of your tandem runs are on doors. I'm like, yeah, that's just what we do. That's what we try to do here. And they're like, oh, why don't they do Pro-Am? They don't want to. And it's okay. If you don't want to drive Pro-Am, that's fine. No one's
Right.
going to get mad at you for driving Pro-Am. But it's all the people that hate Pro-Am and FD. They're the ones that are like, oh, idiots. Like, you're an idiot. You shouldn't do that. Blah, blah, blah. And it's like, okay, that's fine. Like, you can have your opinion, but we're going to go do this. But then the kids that drive Pro-Am, they're not going to the grassroots dudes and be like, you shouldn't just drive for fun. You should spend all your money and all of your time and resources to go drive Pro-Am. They're like, oh, I've structured this the way that I want to structure it. I'm going to go drive Pro-Am. You should keep driving for fun because drifting is the greatest thing that's ever happened in the entire world. Like,
Yeah.
this whole rift in drifting between, like, and it all comes down to, like, people thinking that, like, you have to be pro, or people thinking that you have to only be grassroots, or people thinking you should never shift your car out of second gear and go street drifting every night. Like, it's crazy. Why is there such a rift? Let people do whatever the fuck they want. It doesn't matter. Like, go drift the way you want to drift. And if you don't want to drive pro, don't drive pro. And if you want to drive pro, go drive pro. Go do whatever you think you should do. Like, it's just crazy that how much, like, stupid hate there is in drifting. Like, do whatever you want as
Yeah.
long as you're not running more than 2 degrees of negative camber in your car because you're an idiot.
I think I've said it
I'm
many
glad
times.
that you actually drew a line somewhere there, Pat. But yeah, I agree fully with what you're saying. Fuck Formula Drift. Fuck grassroots.
Right?
Fuck
Fuck
everyone.
drifting.
Quit drifting.
NASCAR is
drifting.
live.
NHRA is coming back.
Woo!
Just go drag race, and it doesn't matter.
Yeah, no, I think a lot of forms of motorsports, if it's Supercross or even NHRA or even, let's say, NASCAR, or even sprint car, or even there's so many forms of motorsports that has that initial step to jump into the big show, right? There is a Pro-Am for every series, and there's a reason why it's developed that way. And I think that Formula Drift and professional drifting here in the United States is so young that it's still learning, and it's 14, 15 years old now here in the United States. So I think there's obviously that trial and error in doing things. But I partially blame that on it just because it is still young. But I think that's exactly what it needs. And I'm going to drop a little fun fact here real quick. I'm probably starting my own series this year.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like anime series or what?
Yeah.
kind of-
No, and that's all I'm going to say. And
Hentai?
I'll have an announcement here probably within the next month. But this
So
is
wait,
exactly why.
Are you going to be competing against the Nathan's Hot Dog Eating Championship?
I
Where do you fall in there?
I can't stand. I don't stand a chance against Kobayashi. He just eats
who
me under
does?
the table. And then Eater X, I can't keep up with him either. I'd have to go to the female competition. Even then, I would still have a hard time.
the
having those
old
things.
Andy Kaufman, right?
Yep. But yeah, that's exactly why I'm doing it, and I already got things moving because I want to bridge that gap a little bit better, and I just got approval to do that. So that's more announced. But what you just talked about is the reason why I'm doing it. So I'll have some announcements on that soon. But yeah, that's exactly. I'm glad you actually touched on that because having somebody that went through the ranks yourself personally, even myself, but somebody that just recently competed, especially in Pro 1, you haven't really ever stepped down to Pro 2. You've been through it for the past. You've driven with teams now. You know what it takes, and I think that's what the series or the sport kind of needs is a couple spokesmodels or representatives to say, hey, we've been through the shit. Learn from us. If we made mistakes, let me tell you that mistakes.
Right.
Because the thing is, if we can make that transition a little bit lighter from having these people constantly make mistakes and spend tons of money and all that, it's like we've done that. Let's try to help bridge that gap to make it easier. And hey, guess what? At night, we're still going to go party. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
it still needs. It just needs to be fine tuned.
Well, and I'd also like to talk with FD, like Jim and Ryan and Andy and whoever else. And I'd love to be involved with FD in like a sense of trying to help like strengthen the connection between drivers and fans, and not in the sense of like signing autographs, stuff like that, but like when something happens, and like I know Lorette does a great job, like she's down there. I don't want anything to do with that live reporting or anything like that, but just like maybe each round, like if I was able to go there, like take video of every car and be like, this is a handbrake entry, this is a clutch kick, this is a just a full on first, second, third, fourth spinning tires, throwing the car in, stuff like that, to help people more so understand what's going on, or like have like a driver's point of view for what actually is going on. Like explain coming in to the lower bank at Irwindale, which like not many people know how absolutely terrifying that is. That's the scariest thing I've ever done in an entire car, is come off the bank with your foot through the floor, transition, lift for 1 second to get the car in transition again, and then you floor it going towards the wall and go, hope it works out. Like, we'll see. Because you could be the best driver in the world with the most predictable car in the world, and every time you come in there, you're like, oh, I don't know. And you just go. Like, I don't know. I would love to, like, show people more of that side of, like, more of a connection. And not, like, this, like, oh, this is what it is, and here it is. I don't know. I don't even know what I'm trying to get at right now, but just like,
yeah, no, I understand what you're saying.
Explain
You want to
more, I guess.
Yeah, you want to give a perception from an in-car type of feel. You want the people to realize, like, hey, what you're watching right now is not easy. And let me tell you why. Because there's so many different variations of these guys going to this corner. Or it's giving a better, clear understanding of what is happening inside that car to the audience. That's, totally correct. I'm cool with that.
Yeah, and just like, and also there's a lot of stuff like people won't really understand and be like, oh, this person, like, they're handbraking because they're scared. It's like, no, the way their car is set up, they have to handbrake here. If they don't handbrake here, they have to.
They'll die.
Use magic.
All right. Well, like, I don't want to like give away.
The
It'd be like
Just
giving away
secrets.
car setup stuff, but like,
Well, you don't have to give an individual's name, but just give an example of a car setup. Like,
there are certain cars, you pull the handbrake and the car goes faster.
oh, yeah.
It's mind blowing.
Vaughn.
Like, anyways, you pull the handbrake and the car goes faster. People are like, oh, they're pulling the handbrake because they're scared. It's like, no, they're not. They're actually being gnarly and trying to speed up more before they get to this wall. They're not handbraking to slow down. They're handbraking to set the car and speed up more. Or like, you'll hear, but it's like this misperception a lot of people have, like, oh, this dude's clutch kicking all the time because he's so gnarly and so aggressive and on power. It's like, no, he's clutch kicking because every time he pushes the clutch in, the wheel stops spinning.
Mm-hmm.
He's clutch kicking to slow the car down. And I mean, there was I'll call him out because it's awesome. They were complaining about left foot brake at Irwindale, and Odie goes, well, my car's faster when I left foot brake. They're like, no, because you're touching the brakes. You're slowing down. He goes, no, my car's faster. Forsberg goes, nope, Odie's definitely faster on the brakes than he is off the brakes. Like, there's data to prove it. No, you're touching the brakes. You're slower. And Odie's like, I mean, I'll try to do it with no brakes and whatever. He goes and does it with no foot braking. He's slower. He starts foot braking. He's faster. And people see that little red light, on the front of the car light up, and they're like, oh, they're a bitch. They're pushing the brakes.
Right.
They're scared. It's like, no, Odie's going faster. If you don't see that brake light on, he's going slower.
That's
Well,
crazy.
is the reasoning being, and if I were to dissect this myself, is you're slowing down wheel speed, so you're actually getting a little bit more traction, dragging the brake. If you're full throttle, burning off the tire, you're not getting any forward because you're getting too much wheel speed out of the car.
Yeah, it's all set up again. That the brake balance that you have on your line can influence more the brakes on the rear or the brakes on the front, depending on your setup or style.
It's not even that. It's more just like setting the car.
Well, yeah,
Right.
that's what I'm saying. Like, everybody sets it up differently, and I mean, results are different for every
But
driver.
that's where the speed would come from while using the brakes, is to slow down the wheel speed to get more grip.
to get more
drive.
grip instead of having the tires just skidding out
off.
of control. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because you can give the car more throttle on the brake,
Right.
because you're setting the front and letting the car rotate and go around. When like you could be on throttle, no brake, and it's like, oh, it sounds great, but like in the car we're giving it less throttle because the car just doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
And a Formula D car drives nothing like a grassroots 300 horsepower SR car. They're just I've done it before. Someone asked me like, "Oh, I want to drive your FD car. I want to drive it." I'm like, "Okay, well, this is when I was paying for tires." So I was like, "If you pay for a set of tires and a little bit of fuel, you can go burn the tires off." Like, you're a really good grassroots driver, KA car, go drive it. I'd love to see it. He struggled so much to just drift a turn, and he got out. He came back, and I was like, "Dude, there's still tire left. You want to go?" He goes, "Nope." He's like, "That thing's crazy."
Yeah.
He's like, "That thing is absolutely insane. You give it throttle and drift, and it just throws you into the seat."
I mean,
And when you go to transition, you have to float or handbrake. You can't float a transition.
just for reference,
just-
remember when you and Stoneback went to the drag strip?
Yeah.
Well, you guys were putting like high 10s, low 11s.
My car did a 10.3 at 134, and I ran out of gear about 75 feet before the traps.
I mean,
And I just coasted across, like, didn't even push the clutch in, just coasted across engine braking.
That's awesome.
if you had a fifth
Like,
gear, you'd probably do it. Yeah.
Yeah, a normal FD car on a set of slicks, if the diff and transmission didn't break, you'd run a high 8-second pass.
So in theory, if Odie does a drag strip, I mean, assuming that he takes off right on where the light goes off instead of 2 seconds later, and stepping on the brakes, he will be faster than you.
100%.
Perfect.
Left foot braking the whole way down.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. 9.8.
Yeah, that theory crosses over into drag racing too. They
Yeah.
the whole drag strip.
No, but I mean, if you think about it, it's very interesting because I never thought of that until you start saying that braking during drifting, it slows the tires, but actually gives you more traction. Now it's starting to make a little bit more sense. And that changes the perspective of what we're seeing all the time. Because even when I saw the red light, I was like, oh, it's braking, it's slowing down. But, like, I take Forsberg's word for it's, as gospel. Forsberg says that he's going faster. It's like, okay, he's going faster, but how? And I mean, Corey just explained it, and it makes sense now. So, interesting. This is a bit mind-blowing for me.
Well, I think part of the issue with drifting, once again, it is still fairly new. So the ability to get knowledge is pretty difficult. You know what I mean? It's
There's still a lot of explaining to do.
Yeah, for sure. And I think the more, just like anything else, the better people communicate with one another. And I understand competition, but the more people communicate, the more information you have, which explains a lot of the stuff that people have misconceptions about. And once again, by doing the duty of Maximum Driftcast,
we're here to give you questionable information. That's 50%
that's
accurate some
50%.
of the time.
Yeah. And speaking of questions, I mean, we could keep talking for hours. Which, I mean,
Well, let's get to the
we're really
rant.
glad Pat is being so open and talkative, as opposed to the first time he was with us. But
I was in the truck driving to Seattle. Give me a break.
I'll give you all the breaks you want, buddy. But, dude, like, there's over 100 questions for you on Instagram.
There's some good ones.
Dude, well, I mean...
Yeah.
Yeah,
Here's a good one. Jordan's a Giant says, new livery this year, please.
I had no control over what my car looked like last year.
I'm not saying that it was bad last year. I think the joke is that you're not running in 2018 and he didn't know when he wrote this. And now we all know.
Oh, I get it, Sam. Super funny. You're the funniest one on here.
I do
No, I
like the
wasn't
fact
trying
that he
to
had
say
no
it was
control over
bad.
it, because they could have put a big dinger down the side and be like, well, all right, let's...
I think he didn't have I think he didn't have control of the car as well.
Oh,
No.
Paco. See, Paco's the funny one there.
Ah.
Why'd you talk shit to him?
I'm just kidding.
Whatever.
All right,
Here's one right here. This
fantastic.
is...
Which Disney character would you like to be and which princess would you save? It's a
What-
good one.
Yeah, what if he wanted to be a
No, I would-
princess?
I would think that I would save Ariel, Little Mermaid.
Ariel.
She was like 16 or
Ugh.
14 or 15. Too young.
Gotcha. Yeah,
Can't do
yeah.
it. I've read that earlier and I've been thinking about it and I just can't really hammer it out. I don't really.
Can I take a stab at it?
Yeah, try.
All right, I would say that you would probably be, you would be the candelabra from Beauty and the Beast.
No, I wouldn't be Gaston's the other guy. Or is that Gaston? Is that the guy? Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
You'd
I
be
think I would like to think I'd be the guy from Pocahontas, John Smith or whatever.
Jon Snow.
You know nothing, Pat.
No, I'd be that guy just because he's like He's
ripped.
pretty handsome. Yeah.
Yeah.
And like
Yeah.
he was pretty tolerant. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Because like his boy was like, "No, these Indians are bad people," and he goes, "No, they're not. They're actually pretty cool. Like, give them a chance."
Pat Goodin is pretty much the synonym for tolerance. So yeah,
Yep.
makes perfect sense.
He's a redneck poet. What do you want from him?
I have a question right here. You have one, Corey?
Yeah, I have one.
Okay, can you or me?
I'll go first.
Okay, go, Corey.
All right, this is from your brother, Jeff Jones Racing.
Whew.
Okay.
I don't know why this is a 3-part question. It's actually one question, but he says 3-part question. If you can kick one driver in their dick, who would it be?
Jeff Jones.
He's easy enough. Perfect.
He sets himself up for that one.
I don't
The
understand.
Junkyard. You're not a fan of the yard?
No, I love that dude. He's the best.
All right,
Yeah.
sweet.
Have you seen him doing the backpack kid dance?
Hey, were you there when we watched Jeff Jones crash when he was doing those dance moves?
Wait, when?
That was in Florida.
Oh wait,
It was Florida when there was a dance circle going on, and Jeff Jones gets in there and starts dancing.
I don't go to dance circles, so I wouldn't know.
You're not
Wow.
you're a tiny
Humble brag.
dancer.
what a doo doo.
Anyways, that was one of my
But-
favorite FD moments ever is watching Jeff Jones. Oh, here he goes. I don't think Jeff Jones knows how to use Instagram very well because he made a post and then he let 30 other people post and then he started a new thread
Oh,
with another comment. Jeff Jones again. If you were to let one driver borrow your pro car, who would it be?
Was that story earlier about the kid
Chelsea.
driving your car and getting scared? Was that Jeff Jones?
Jeff Jones. No, 100% not Turek.
Okay.
Okay, let me start off with the two people who I adore, Turk and Chelsea. No, I would never let them, ever.
Mm-hmm.
Probably Forsberg, because he crashes the least.
Okay. That's respectable. Last one. If you had to be stuck on an island, what driver would you want to be stuck with?
stuck in the
This
front.
is Jeff Jones throwing
Stuck
these
in the
out here.
front or in the back?
I know these are all. I read all these earlier, and I had to go past them because they
You're not-
stressed me out.
You're not supposed to read the questions until.
That's okay.
Jeez,
Yeah, Pat.
cheater.
No, people have been doing it lately, and they need to be punished.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They
Pat,
need to be
answer the
banished.
question.
Who would you be stuck on an island with? What driver? Pro driver.
John Mang.
And the island, it's a tiny island.
Tiny island. Probably
it's-
Chelsea.
And it's really cold, and so you have to cuddle with them too.
Chelsea.
Chelsea.
Probably Chelsea.
Yeah,
There
you're
it is.
comfortable. You're comfortable enough to cuddle with Chelsea?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not that
Who's the biggest spoon?
bad. All right, Paco, sorry.
Yeah.
That was Jeff Jones's weird three
Hold on,
questions.
Paco had a good follow up there. Who's big spoon?
Yeah, who's the
little
big spoon?
Oh, we
Between
trade.
you and
Well,
Chelsea
he
straight
would-
up?
Chelsea would start off as Big Spoon,
Alternate.
and we'd alternate. Yeah.
Ah.
And then you go like
Fair
head
play.
to toe, so that way you guys can't fit together.
No, it's
You get remember, Sam, we had this conversation. If you sleep head to toe, you're still docking. You're in docking range.
yeah.
Okay, I have another question. Let's just give somebody else a chance to ask questions.
All right.
Somebody not FD related, at least not
Yeah,
anymore.
Jeff Jones.
Username Geoff Stoneback.
Oh.
Haha.
Okay.
Have you ever tripped on a step?
There is a certain step that has gotten me many times.
It's definitely not a step to the
Sweeney's.
podium.
Sweeney's step. It's a small little unsuspecting step right on the outskirts of Philadelphia, and it will get you. And be
Uh-oh.
careful.
Is that how you lost your teeth? Your tooth?
Yeah, actually, that's what happened. I tripped
What?
on Sweeney's step.
Well, thanks, username Geoff Stoneback.
All right, here we go. Noodle Powers. Mr. Goodin.
Oh.
Days of Thunder, Talladega Nights, or Hot Rod.
Oof.
Also, when are you going to come to Australia to drive?
I'm glad you asked this question. Obviously, Days of Thunder. You're wrong if you think any of those other movies are better.
Amen.
Two, I was actually talking to somebody today about going to Australia pretty soon, and I think that's going to happen.
What? Are you gonna go see
Yeah.
the Ruse?
Actually, a kangaroo messaged me about coming to hang out, and I was like, "Sure, mate, I'll figure it out."
He must be using a sidekick on T-Mobile to message you.
He probably wants
Kangaroos
to
He
have-
was
punch you.
definitely on a sidekick, and he
Yeah.
said something about shrimp on a Barbie. I don't know.
Yeah, so you're gonna go full Aussie. That's cool, dude. Yeah, great question, Noodle Powers. Thanks. Now we know Pat's gonna go Australia.
Gad86 has a good one here. How many Pat Goodin sized ducks would it take to beat up one Pat Goodin sized Pat Goodin?
Oh god.
One.
Classical
Just
driftcast
one?
question.
Wait, so one Pat Goodin sized duck could beat up one Pat Goodin sized Pat Goodin?
Yeah, ducks are meaner than hell.
That's
so
true.
one small version of you could beat up one large version of you.
Wait, one oh wait, hang on. I
Wait, no,
thought-
I guess.
no.
I guess.
I
Wait,
thought
hold on,
about-
no, you're right. I'm confused. Wait, so one Pat Goodin sized duck, so a large duck
Yeah.
versus
That's
so
a big ass duck.
that's a big duck.
Yeah.
That's a big ass duck.
I haven't seen a huge
Yeah.
duck like that in a long time.
Yeah.
A duck definitely could take me.
All right, cool. Just checking.
That would
Yeah.
make a great ducktail.
Yeah.
Dad joke.
There you go, he got
First
it.
dad joke of 2018. Thanks, Paco.
David McClutchcake. Do you feel depressed because Jared Deanda only shouts out his other children and excludes you?
Nice.
Kind of a bummer. A little bit of a bummer.
I think he
I know I'm a little bit illegitimate, but at least you could recognize me.
Yeah.
he
this-
did while you were.
Oh
yeah.
my god. I might have a question for Paco. It's more of a
Uh-oh.
statement. This is from Richard Dinger Hot Dog Flinger,
Wow.
which is the greatest name ever. He goes,
Holy shit.
I'm calling you bullshit.
can we just establish the fact that you guys linked a men's fitness page instead of Formula D in the post? So we linked, if you go to our Instagram, we linked Formilia D.
Oh, I thought that was on purpose.
So Richard Dinger, Hot Dog Flinger, thank you for catching that.
Can you post show these, Brian?
We got a men's fitness page in Arabic, linked instead of Formula Drift. Thanks, Paco, our IT guy, and
Oh, yeah.
Richard Dinger, Hot Dog
Beautiful,
Flinger.
beautiful. I mean, we can't script this shit.
Let's see here. Da-da-da-da-da.
All right, fixed it.
Here's one for Jacob.
That's why we got so many
This is-
questions. That's
This
actually
is Jacob Austin Miller. When are you going to upgrade the carburetor on your FD car?
Well, I was gonna put a demon on it earlier.
What do you
but...
got with an Edelbrock 750?
No, a demon, dude. A double, maybe a double pumper. I don't know.
I'm all about those double pumpers.
But Jesus.
God, here's nothing. Paco,
Paco,
strikes-
being a 2-pump chump is different than a double pump.
Oh, I should have known better.
Let's see.
I don't know if I can ask any more questions now that I've looked at this bodybuilding page that Paco linked to. I think that kind of sums up all my feelings on the episode and life in general.
Hold on, I think I might have.
Oh,
one.
dude. So, Thunder. This is more of a statement, and I remember seeing it. Thunder Buffalo 69. He says, "I'm not making
name.
shit. I'm not making it up." He says,
Good name.
"I made a sign at FD Atlanta that said, 'Fight me, Pat Goodin.'" And I saw it on the live stream.
No way.
I did. I was like, yes, that's the best. And I think he was referring to duck size Pat Gooding.
Yeah.
So he says, like, why didn't you meet him at the pits?
I don't
Why-
want to get beat up.
Do you know what? I hope
If
we
somebody
encourage.
is straight up challenging you to a fight, they're probably gonna beat you up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because you have to have a lot of
here's the thing,
confidence.
Pat, you could come in with some backup. Come in with a bunch of ducks.
I hope this really encourages people throughout the Formula D season.
To
There-
fight Pat Goodin.
No, there should
I won't do
there
that.
should
Yeah,
be
fine.
there should be no reason why there isn't as many signs at Formula Drift as there is at WWE Monday Night SmackDown.
100%.
There should be
100%.
signs that.
Most of them should talk about fighting Pat.
Oh yeah,
Are you a lover or a fighter,
or any drifting event. Period. There should be more signs in drifting. And do you know who does some of the best signs? Team Rowdy in Atlanta.
Team Rowdy in Atlanta, yeah.
They have amazing signs, and I think
believe Thunder Buffalo 69 was in the Team Rowdy
I love them. I love
yeah.
them. I love
It
them.
was.
All right, here's one from.
I saw the sign when I was driving shamefully
saw the sign.
back to the pits. I looked over and I saw "Fight Me, Pat Goodin," and I went,
All right, here's one from Josh Ostrander. What should I do with your nasty hat I've been trying to sell on eBay since Irwindale 2016?
I already
yeah.
told him you have to pay somebody to take it. Also, I will smoke that fool at arm wrestling any day of the week.
Ooh. Now Pat's getting cocky after he says he doesn't want to fight anyone.
I'll arm wrestle somebody,
Arm
and
wrestle?
then lead to a fight.
except for JR or Tony.
Yeah.
I will not arm wrestle them.
Tony's got
Who's
some
winning a
potent
fight,
guns.
JR or Tony? Arm wrestle fight. Wrestle fight.
Against each other?
Yeah.
Well, obviously.
I think they've both won once or twice.
Tony's got dad strength now, though, so I feel like he might win.
Oh,
Tony
here's-
was like the undefeated champ. JR was like the first dude to beat Tony at arm wrestling.
Do you know what I realized though, Pat? I'm not an arm wrestling expert, but I got a pretty long arm, and Tony has a really short, muscular nub.
Stubby.
And so the thing is Tony arm stroke is very small. Mine is like a freaking diesel truck where it takes a long time to kind of. Tony just fat. Tony can wipe you out.
Actually, if we take physics in account, Corey, shorter arms give you a little more torque. More torque.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But you have more leverage.
I don't even know how to use it.
We got one more question here from
I got one.
Sugar 1337. Yes, Pat. Who could you beat in the Formula Drift Pro 1 paddock at arm wrestling?
All of them?
Most everyone except for JR.
No, except
Almost
for
everyone
Kristaps.
except for JR.
Yeah.
Do you think you
I'd
can beat
bet money on
Kristaps?
it.
Hold on, I gotta go.
Oh, whoa. JR and Kristaps.
Kristaps, even if you beat him, he'd choke you out. He'd probably
I
just.
would.
All right, so you could beat James Dean.
100%.
That guy's 1/3 spider. His arm will wrap around you twice before you even eat a spot.
He's like 106 pounds.
Frederick Osbo, the Norwegian Hammer, you could beat him.
Not even gonna.
What if he throws his jaw into it?
Yeah.
Or
Or-
it.
All right, Odie Botchkis.
Yep.
Matt Field.
Really?
100%.
Dude, this
Guy.
confidence.
Conrad Grunwald.
Yeah.
Yeah, what about Conrad?
What about Peter Wiechek?
Yeah, it could be Peter.
Ryan Turk.
Yep.
Tyler
Matt Kaufman.
McQuarrie.
Well, all right,
Yeah.
I think you could beat Matt Kaufman.
Yeah.
Forsberg?
Yep.
He's got spaghetti arms, but I feel like he's got some
actually have
secret
Forsberg
force
in
in
arm
there.
wrestling.
Alec Hollandale.
Whoa,
Yeah.
whoa! Don't
He's
don't touch
He's
Alec.
got
Yeah.
Instagram muscles. I don't know if they're real though.
What about Hurt?
No.
He's not a Pro 1.
He's still an athlete. No, I just saw Hurt, and he's like, "What have you been doing?" He flexes his arm, and Hurt has his big old
Yeah.
potato muscle
big
right
old
now.
dog
He got
cup on
some
his arm.
big old muscles now. I'm like, damn, Hurt, what have you been doing? Anyways,
Are you saying you
pump-
could beat Ken Gushie?
100%.
Jeff Jones.
100%.
What?
Huh?
Cameron Moore.
Yeah.
Kyle
Yeah.
Mohan.
Yep.
Jared
hey,
DeAndre.
hey, real quick, hold on. I'm going to Facebook. I'm watching Facebook.
Uh-oh.
Okay, Pat. Everybody's asking, whatever happened between the situation with you and Alex Schlegel? What does that mean?
Oh, I'd love to talk about that.
Okay, sorry.
So basically, I acted like a complete idiot child and showed my ass and acted like a complete fucking idiot. And I feel so stupid about it. But now like we're cool now, like we talk. But also like people didn't know the before thing and like there's some history with me and him. It's not like out of nowhere I was like, oh fuck this kid that I don't know. Like, you know, we've known each other for a while and haven't particularly gotten along for quite a long time. But no, yeah, I had been up for I hadn't been up, I'd slept, but it was during our 3-day event at OSW, and my car was driving like shit, and there was a miscommunication between me and the grid guy, and I thought he understood what I said, but he thought something else, and he sent cars behind me, and I freaked out, and I acted like a complete idiot, and I showed my ass, and I feel so stupid for it.
Well, in the car, how did you show your buns?
I think
Well, I had my suit on, but there's actually a butt flap in my suit.
Yeah.
And I unbuckled, pulled my butt flap down, and showed my ass. But no, I acted like an idiot. I acted like a little child, and
Did you slap your buns as you pulled the butt flap down?
no, I threw a temper tantrum, and
I remember watching
I
the
literally
video.
feel stupid as shit for doing what I did, and yeah,
Wasn't it
I did
about-
what I did, and I feel so stupid for it.
To sum it up, wasn't it like, I told you not to effing follow me, what the F, you're out there, or something like that? How did it go down?
No, it like so my car was driving like shit, and I couldn't figure out what was going on, and I told the grid guy I won, but I guess so at OSW, if you say one, that means you want one car to go.
Yeah, solo.
At other tracks, 1 is you're the first car, 2 you're the second car, 3 you're the third car. So I go 1 thinking he gets it, and I go and he sent the other cars, and I'm going, and my car starts like I was like breaking a tie rod.
Working perfectly.
And so I'm like, whoa, what's going on? And I look back, there's a car, and I go, like trying to get out of the way. And I was like, like anger, rage, like had slept 5 hours in 2 days because we were like going to sleep late, waking up early to start the event. And I go, rap, like start snatching gear, start drifting. And I'm trying to like just come up on him. And I truthfully did not mean to hit him whatsoever because that's like a real shit move.
Well,
I didn't realize where we were at on the track. And we were at a point that I said, hey, start braking here. So he passed that point to start braking. And I'm like, rap! And it was too late. And I'm like locking up all fours and I hit him. And I'm like, God, I feel like such a fucking dumbass. Like, I can't believe I did that. I go back to the pits and I'm like, no, I'm mad. Like, I'm going to say something to him. And I walk over. And I was like, dude, what the fuck? I said, don't follow me. Like, he's like, dude, he said go. And I'm like, I was like, don't follow. And I said some real asinine idiot things that I 100% regret. But every time I went to walk away, he would make some like smart ass remark back to me. And it was just silly. It was child's play. And I feel so stupid for doing what I did. And yeah, it was all silly and all 100% on me. And I feel like a complete dumbass for doing what I did. But I did what I did, and I'll own it till the day I die. I just feel like a dingus.
And that was wasn't that like a year ago?
See recreation real quick, just so you can get that off your chest.
Okay, I'll be Alex.
No, he's nodding his head no.
No, I remember seeing that video, and I was like, oh, Pat just went off. Like, Pat's regulating right now. Like, I know sometimes, like, I've seen you mad a couple times.
Yeah.
Like, I would see you walk around the pits, like, fucking smoking a cigarette. And I remember, like, I grabbed your radio one time. Do you remember this? I grabbed the radio out of your rig, and Amy had a radio, and I'd turn it on, and I'd be like, Pat, what are you doing? And you're standing right next to me, and Pat looks at me, he's like, my battery's about ready to effing die. Just turn the radio off already. I'm like, all right, Pat, I'll see you later.
Good luck.
But that's just getting in the zone. Whatever. No sleep, stress, whatever it is, it happens. Whatever.
Yeah.
You yelled at me before.
No, I'm not making excuses for it. I acted like an idiot, and I'll totally own it till the day I die. And it's funny, like people try to reference it still, like it's trying to like get me or something. I'm like, nah, I know how stupid I was. Like literally 5 minutes after it happened, I was like, oh boy, like I am a fucking idiot.
But you didn't know he had a GoPro in his car, right? Video. You didn't know he had a GoPro in his car.
No, it didn't matter either way. I'm honestly glad that he did to put myself in check.
Well, I mean, yeah, and I would say, I mean, as it was, I mean, now that it seems like everything is okay, I think like he shouldn't have posted that. But at the same time, I talked to Alex at Grid Life, and I mean, you know, it was cool, I guess. Like, said you guys talked about it, whatever. But yeah. I think it's definitely cool, you know, to bring those things up and then show that, you know what, we are all human. We all make mistakes. And, you know.
Life goes on, whatever.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, dude, how many times have you yell at me this week and I yell back at you, Corey?
Quite a bit.
Yeah.
Me and Paco have like, we have a relationship where we just hate each other but love each other at the same time. So we treat each other like we're in a bad relationship.
Yeah, that's why we're not roommates anymore. Just kidding.
That's how like me and Nick Swan are. Like I've ran quite a few events with Nick Swan, and I love doing it. And it is guaranteed 100% for sure at an event that me and Nick Swan are running together, we will get in a screaming match.
I'll be scared.
And like, you're wrong. Scared. No, you're wrong. No, you're wronger. And we'll scream at each other, and we'll take like a 10-minute cooldown. We're like, all right, no, we're cool.
Yeah, it's all good to forget that even happened. I got one last question before we go. All right. This is from, because it's pretty interesting. And this guy, I think I may have seen a comment once or twice before, but this is Kevin Morris, 1837. You being a diehard NASCAR fan and being involved in pro drifting, what parts of NASCAR would you like to see, if possible, implemented into Formula Drift or vice versa? It can be social media, fan-driver interaction, etc.
See, that's tough because like I'm struggling with like some of the NASCAR stuff now. Like I hate the playoffs. I think the playoffs in NASCAR are the stupidest thing ever. Like there is no reason that, you know, you go through so many races and then you fall out of the playoffs. You could literally win every single race.
Right.
Can't win.
Right.
Like these other, like you could beat the dudes that are in the playoffs. You could beat them every single time, but you can't win because you're not in the playoffs. I think that's super silly. And I think it should like, and that all started because NASCAR their social media kind of sucks.
Yeah, they do.
Like, it's good. Like, they have a reach and like they have a good following and it's fantastic. But like some of their social media stuff, I'm like, did you guys just like throw a dart at a dartboard and be like, yeah, we'll do that? Like, might as well. Like, their social media is just so silly. And like, I hate the playoffs. I don't really like their social media. It has a good reach, but you also have to think of like what NASCAR is doing. Like, their fan base, like Southern people over the age of being born, love NASCAR. And that's fine.
That was the most NASCAR ever said on the show.
Every baby comes out with a Jeff Gordon hat or a Dale Earnhardt hat.
Turn left.
Yeah, I had a Dale Earnhardt Sr. hat on when I came out. I don't know how I got it, but it was on.
Yeah.
But like, they're trying to reach like younger people, and the whole thing with Monster, like, trying to reach these people. I think the stages are so stupid. It's so stupid, but the stages almost emulate what Formula D is now, like the stages of competition and whatever. I honestly think like there's really nothing. I mean, think NASCAR implemented the 5-minute rule, like from Formula D. Like, granted, you can pull 500 5-minute calls if you wanted. You have 5 minutes in the cars to go back on the track, do one lap, then it's 5 minutes again. But I don't think there's anything in NASCAR that Formula Drift could really use. I think FD, for the most part, is on top of their social media, on top of like what they're doing, and it just, a lot of stuff just doesn't translate.
It's so funny because every time you go to NASCAR, like I've been to a couple NASCAR pages or their Facebook page, and you know how Formula Drift really uses their drivers sometimes to like create fun content, like who can get out the suit the fastest, let's do funny behind the scenes stuff, and then you see NASCAR try to replicate that.
That's
and one is like, so what'd you guys eat for Thanksgiving? And like one driver's like, I had turkey and stuffing, and that guy's like, well, I don't eat meat, and it's like, ding, 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 there's fun music playing in the background. It's like, how is this? What's happening?
A little cringy. Yeah.
But
these guys race on the same track at the same time. Find out on Sunday.
Sunday.
If I could, I'm just thinking if I could take something from NASCAR, I would take their TV coverage and their TV program. That's about it.
Well, yeah, but
The
it doesn't
budget.
translate to what we do.
Yep. But yeah, that's it for questions from me, guys.
Yeah, so if NASCAR's listening, please, do
Hire
what we
me
say.
as a driver. I'll
There you
probably
go.
crash.
Yeah.
How
Good
good
deal.
how good are you at turning left?
I mean, pretty good, but
I think we need to find a way to get you on a NASCAR car, like and
A NASCAR car.
Yeah.
NASCAR car.
Yeah, NASCAR car. Ask Matt Field has that. Didn't he have access to that Buick NASCAR at Irwindale? Yeah, ask him. Hey, let me go for a ride on it.
Let me go whip some shitties.
Thankfully, I think it's actually easier to get into than Formula Drift and definitely cheaper. So
Oh yeah, true.
we got-
Yep, that's good. Or close to the same budget, but
Yeah.
Pat, I want to thank you.
Yeah.
You're brave. You're the first one of the year.
You're passionate.
strong.
You're breaking us in for the season. I think you're setting a high bar here, being
Yeah.
the first guest.
Yeah, not only
I think that you're our first.
start the year breaking our hearts,
Yep.
but at least you leave
Yeah.
us with a good perspective of what's the future.
We should be expecting a BMW with an LS in it.
No, a Corvette.
He's BMW.
well, hey,
He's
I'm gonna
running-
go because I'm gonna pee.
Oh no.
All right.
So good
Thanks
talking to you.
thanks for keeping it real, I guess.
He's quitting us.
Yep. Well, we'll see you next year, pissy
All right.
pants.
All right, bye.
See you,
Bye.
Swag Lord.
No, he threw it down his earphones.
Man, that his 1 tooth
Wow.
thing just really caught me off guard the whole show.
What?
Missing that 1 tooth. I
I couldn't get my eyes off the screen.
yeah.
Well, actually, he had it during the first half of the interview, but then I saw him do a big gulp. I think he swallowed it.
well, do you know what?
He'll just get it tomorrow from the toilet.
Well, before the show, he goes, Corey, I got to tell you something. I'm like, Pat, what's up? He's like, dude, my tooth fell out. And I put on my pillow, and the tooth fairy hasn't came yet. And it's been 3 weeks. What should I do?
It's waiting for the teeth to grow, right? Yeah.
So I just told him let it keep chilling, man. Tooth fairy will come one day.
Aw. Do you think it left them like $2 or like 20
no,
bucks?
it's still there. It's
on
probably,
his pillow?
probably just smells real bad. But,
God.
anyways,
Before we go, dude, we've been doing this for 2 hours and a half. So I think it's not bad for our first episode of the year. A lot of news. Corey, you gave us some preview of some upcoming news.
yep.
Is there something more you want to say about it, or should we just like leave our audience waiting?
I'm working on this. All I'm gonna say is I'm working on a few things, and I got approval through the right organization to give me approval to potentially start a series to develop drivers, and that's really it. that I can say right now, and we'll have more details coming up.
Coming up. Don't miss it out. Only on Maximum NASCast.
Oh
Shit.
but
We're back on Driftcast. My bad.
Yep.
Sam,
Get it together. Hey,
well, real quick before we go, since okay, so I've seen and this is a question. Like, I've seen something called RS Race Service. Can you
Yep.
tell us a little bit about that?
nope.
Okay,
not
so
yet.
yeah, I can, but barely right now. I'll let the one of the partners talk about it, I guess, as it gets nearer too. But yeah, it's a new project, I guess you could say. That's a little bit of an offshoot off of an older one, but you're going to see a lot more content coming out from there. And at some point, maybe we'll talk to one of the head partners of the project. But I am involved along with some other people in something called Race Service, and we're making videos and other cool automotive moves. So you're going to see more of that coming up very soon. I've got to head there early in the morning tomorrow.
ooh,
Yeah,
2018, man.
it's 2018.
Full
man.
of new
and
stuff.
also right now, you should check out the video that came out at Christmas and New Year's, the hottest dates to watch videos with Samuel Humanetz, the
Ooh.
two-time Formula Drift champion. I made a video with him. My largest directing job in a single day, you could say Drift Garage earlier in the year was probably my largest directing job due to just strictly size of the video, but I directed a large team at Willow Springs to race Samuel Humanet in a supercharged Lambo versus an Ultra 4 truck, which was actually a lot closer of a race than we expected. But you can check that out on Driving Line/Nitto. And yeah, that's another cool
Sweet.
thing.
We'll make sure to post that on our Maximum Driftcast discussion board. Which, if you haven't joined it, you are missing out all the funds. So join the Maximum Driftcast discussion board on Facebook. And also, let's take a little bit of time to thanks again our Patreons, which, I mean, thank you guys for your support. It's because of you that this show is still happening. And Corey?
Outside of Patreon, I know we've been 2.5 hours. I know the Patreon guys know that we appreciate them. Obviously, we got to thank our sponsors, and especially the new ones coming on board, AEM, McLeod Clutches. Without their support, obviously, we wouldn't be here as well. But we have more exciting news coming up as the show progresses. I'm sure you'll have the full details by the end of January. We have a few more episodes this month, but thank you guys for being a part of the show, tuning in, and we will see you guys next week.
Whew!
And with that, we can say
Bye-bye.
good night. Good night, Sam.
Bye.
Good time.
Good night,
Oh.
Corey.
Bye, guys.
Good night. Good night, Driftcast.
Bye.
Adios. Goodbye. Goodbye. I'm gonna say goodbye.